The connection where we connect the dots between hip hop and mental health. We were having some technical difficulties. If you didn't hear me, this is Shu, and we are back with another episode of The Connection, where we connect the dots between hip hop and mental health. We the plug.
Facts. It's Hendo in the building. You feel me? I just wanna give a quick hate shout out to Wayne for not dropping the Carter 5. Tunchi, what is you doing?
You know what? Let's talk about that.
What's going on, Tunchi?
Let's talk about that.
Like,
let me explain something. So, I used to be the biggest Wayne fan, right?
I still am.
And, well, I'll get into that in a second, but I used to be the biggest Wayne fan, and, like, he flooded for so long, right? Like, we all know that. We don't need to get into that. Like, his work ethic speaks for itself. So, I mean, it was kind of hard to not like him back when he was fucking the game up. But my thing right now is, like, the game is in dire need of a Lil Wayne comeback, right?
Facts.
And I need that in my life. I'm so excited. I was so excited when he got dropped from Cash Money, and it's just him and the Young Money camp. And I'm like, this is exciting. We're gonna get Carter 5 now. We're gonna get all these dope Wayne projects. He might even start flooding with mixtapes again. But my thing right now is like, what the fuck's going on with this Carter 5, bro? Because I've been seeing the post and shit popping up all over the place, and he was supposed to drop it by midnight the other night, and now it's nowhere to be found. So, what the fuck's going on?
Tunchi, you gotta stop trolling us, bro. We need you, Tunchi, for real. Like, come on, Tunchi.
Like, what is that shit?
I don't know, bro. Maybe he fell out. Maybe he passed out doing too much lean or some shit.
Bro, don't be talking like that.
Nah, Tunchi, we want you to be safe, and we want you to drop the Carter 5. Yo, shout out to Tunchi.
Yeah, bro. But I need that because I heard a new Wayne joint with Swizz Beatz. I think it's Swizz.
Pistol on My Side.
Yo,
fire.
that shit's hard.
Yeah.
That now, all right. Now I don't know what other Wayne tracks you've been talking about recently. Like you've been telling me, like he's been putting out some shit that's been heat for a minute. Like in the past couple years.
Yes.
I haven't heard any heat from Wayne, but that song, Pistol on My Side, when I played that shit in the whip the other day, that shit was crazy.
He dropped another Drought mixtape too.
He dropped what?
He dropped another series.
Like Drought is over or Drought? The Drought.
Like this Drought series is over, but he dropped one more Drought mixtape.
No, he did not.
Yeah.
When? Because the last one I remember, the Drought. I think the Drought 3 was the last one, and then the Drought is over went up to like 6 or
never mind.
7 or some shit. Right?
Well, he's been really fucking shit up since like Sorry for the Wait too. Ever since the whole feud with him and Birdman started. So yeah. Wayne's been dropping some shit.
I mean, he was on a hiatus on purpose because of the whole Birdman thing. Like, he was just...
he was making music on that hiatus.
He was making music, but he just felt like he was getting fucked the whole time.
Holly Weezy, Coco, Selsun Blue, Trap House. This is all shit from, I think, Sorry for the Wait 2, and it's so fire. Dedication 5 is fire. Yeah, Dedication 6 is fire.
Anything he puts out is great, but the thing is, I do believe, like, this version of Lil Wayne that we see today... And I don't want to prematurely speak because I'm really excited to hear what this Carter 5 sounds like. But any Lil Wayne he puts out today is a lot different from the Weezy we all know.
I think it's better. I think he's lyrically.
You're talking crazy. I don't think it's better at all. And you know it. You know that deep down it's not better.
It is.
You want it to be, but you know it's not better.
It is.
Dog, come on, it's not better.
This is the best Wayne has ever been.
Stop.
He said, "I got a Greek freak call me Antetokounmpo. I'm the hottest that you know. Just follow the cube, bro."
He's not. Listen, he raps, whatever. He still raps, but like. He used to think of clever shit. Like, it's the simplest shit he would say, but, like, it was so clever at the same time. And, like, that's what he's going to go down for. That's what he's going to be. He's going to be remembered, at least in my opinion. I mean, a lot of people will back this up. He's going to be remembered as the dude that killed the mixtape game, right? He ran that shit for so long. His work ethic's great. And just saying some of the craziest shit where other rappers can't get away with that shit. Like, it's corny if they say it, but he can say it and make it cool because he's a dope ass dude. It's Weezy.
I don't know personally. I think the Wayne we have now.
He ran out of content, bro. He made music for so long. What the fuck could he rap about? He can still rap about things, and he's creative enough to do that. But what could he possibly rap about? Even he knows that.
I don't know. I think Wayne. I don't necessarily think he ran out of content. Wayne's content has been like the same since 2010. He's going to talk about pussy. He's going to talk about weed.
He says the word pussy in every verse.
He's going to talk about lean.
I'm telling you right now, if you ever hear a Lil Wayne verse without the word pussy in it, that's fresh shit.
He's going to talk about fucking somebody's bitch. He's going to talk about his bloods.
Yeah.
Wayne hardly really ever has like some conscious political shit, but there's certain times where you hear him actually talk about his life, and there's times where you hear him really talk about, like, he has a song called God Bless America. I think it came out in 2016. And
I never heard it.
It's like called God Bless America. This old Godless America. Like, Wayne will really like speak some conscious shit when he needs to. But
see, my thing is like the Carter 5 when he drops that's probably all music that was when do you think that was recorded? I think it was probably recorded like years ago.
Probably over like
that shit's not new.
I think we're gonna
it's dated.
I think for the Carter 5 we're gonna see different sides of Wayne because
it might not sound dated, but it is dated.
It is dated, but I think it's gonna be good dated because it's gonna have so many different sides of Wayne that we haven't seen for a long time.
He'll probably throw some new shit on there, you know, a couple fresh joints.
But let's get into this fucking debate that I really don't want.
All right, Wayne, we need that project, bro. We've been, you know, a lot of people are sleeping on you right now, and there's some young kids that probably don't even know who Weezy is.
Make these niggas,
and that's not okay. All right, listen. For the first topic, for Change My Mind, we're gonna get into if Joe Budden is a better rapper than Eminem. So, if you're listening right now and you feel like Joe Budden is a better rapper than Eminem, I want to hear your side. I want to hear who's a better rapper, Joe Budden or Eminem. Joe Budden claims he's a better rapper. He said for the better part of the last decade, the whole decade, he's been a better rapper than Eminem. Now, I have some things to say on this, but for anybody that's tuning in and listening, I need you to start hitting me up and messaging me right now and let me know what you think.
I think we need to talk about what makes a rapper a rapper. Now, me personally, I haven't listened to a lot of Joe Budden's content, but the things that I have blown my mind away content-wise. I think Joe Budden, multi-syllable-wise, is a very impressive rapper. I think content-wise, lyrically, he's a great rapper. But I don't think...
But you said you've never digested all of his
I've never digested
catalog.
All of his...
Have you digested all of M's catalog?
I've digested a lot of M's catalog.
Not the whole thing, but
it's a lot of shit. That's a lot of stuff to digest. But as far as listening to what I've digested from Joe and digested from Eminem, content-wise, Joe may have Eminem, but it's not like by a big margin.
See, I'm gonna stop you there though, because here's the thing: a lot of people say M doesn't have content, but that's all he has because he's always either telling a deep story, right, on some Stan shit, and yes, he has new shit just like that. Maybe not as deep, or maybe not everyone's fan favorite, but he has deep shit. He's always, if he's dissing you, he's talking directly to you. He never doesn't have content. He's
He's
not rapping. No, he's
never sneak disses.
But that's why you got to respect him, because and that's a whole other topic. But like, he's the only man out here really expressing his feelings and thoughts on something. It never does not make sense. It always makes sense. Everything he says, he has content. So I don't know where Joe Budden's coming from when he said M doesn't have content. That doesn't make sense.
I don't necessarily.
I will say this in Joe's defense, okay? Because if we're not talking Eminem, because I will defend M on that, he has content. If we're talking in Joe's defense, Joe is probably one of the deepest rappers that I've ever listened to.
Super vulnerable.
I've listened to a lot of shit, and Joe really like. Yeah, bro. He bears it all. Like
he bears his soul on.
He
tracks.
really does, bro.
Does.
Like he really does. He feels that shit, and he reaches deep within, and he pulls that shit out of him, and I love that.
I think also what makes a rapper is his beat selection, and I for the longest time have always had a problem with Eminem's beat selection. To me, it kind of sounds like it's just Dr. Dre throwaways. Like, I feel like M stuck so long on staying with Dr. Dre and his sound that when he goes out of pocket with like Revival and Kamikaze, that wasn't really Dre driven. It not only does it sound subpar, but it makes his lyrics not digestible because we're not listening to a Dr. Dre beat with Eminem.
Because we've all adapted to the Dr. Dre and M
but
collabo.
Even I personally feel like I don't really like a lot of the beats that Dre has given him. I would love to.
I like how they're different. I just like. I
don't sound like.
I don't know what M's motive is on that. Like how he's always stuck with the Dre beats, and he doesn't work with a lot of other artists. He doesn't work with a lot of producers. Like that's just his. Like he's stuck really Drake, to his camp.
I would love to hear. I would love to hear Eminem on a more calm notion.
I always wanted. Well, here's the thing. So I don't know if M just like got comfortable with it, or if he's just like, all right, let me keep my style way different than everybody else's and just rap on beats that nobody else wants to rap on. I don't know if it's that, because I do know when he came out, a lot of people said like he was on some Illmatic shit, and
Infinite
the beats
is
that he
definitely
used to
Illmatic wise. Like,
Infinite, Illmatic, they're right in the same pocket, right in the same lane.
As far as beats go and lyricism, yeah.
So like that style, I would like to see M imitate that style. Like I've seen he put out a couple freestyles in the last like 5 years. Like
the other day, I was like, I would love to hear him on some like "I Rule the World" kind of shit,
right?
You know?
Like some,
because,
yeah.
Like that's we've heard Eminem.
Too bad Lauryn Hill's racist, because I would love to see an M and Lauryn Hill collab.
Lauryn Hill might be,
that shit would
M
be
might be the only white boy
crazy.
that Lauryn Hill gets a pass.
She might
to.
respect him.
You feel me?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I would love to hear Eminem on some stuff that's completely out of his pocket, that isn't rapidy rap, that isn't like,
yeah.
I would love to hear him on some existential, like, spiritual stuff.
Like, not just trying to, like take up every fucking space on the beat with, like, a syllable.
Exactly.
And, like, actually, like...
Let the beat breathe, you know?
Right.
Give the beat a personality as much as
I would like to hear
lyrics.
an M track like that.
You feel me?
I would like to hear an M track like that.
And that's the biggest problem I have, because
He can't... I can't say he can't do that, because we've seen him do it plenty of times, but he doesn't like to go for that. He doesn't.
Like,
because...
bro,
He'll do like a song like the track with him and Beyonce, like "Walk on Water,"
That's
where
crazy.
he'll basically it'll be a very poppy song, but he'll end it ripping it. Like that's just what he does. Like he's always got to rip some shit.
That's the thing. That's why
You know what I mean?
That's why I feel like a lot of people think Eminem is like not good anymore, because he's trying too hard.
Here's another point that Joe Budden made that I don't actually like, and I want to defend. Okay, Joe Budden says. And I have a couple points where I'm speaking in Joe Budden's defense as well, but I want to address these things first. I have to get these on the table. I don't like when Joe Budden says, because he feels like he's a better rapper than M, because the last 10 years M has basically given us just like bending words and clever wordplay and wittiness and stuff like that. And it's not true. And I don't like how he says it, because Joe Budden is basically, here's the thing. When that's like saying that we're in conversations now where we're talking who's the GOAT. All these guys are getting older. Hove's getting older, M's getting older.
Hove is the
we got Royce, who's been killing it for years. We got Esco, who's still putting out albums. He just dropped one.
Albums
like
too.
We got like all these like so-called people that should be in this GOAT conversation, but a lot of people, black, white, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A lot of people say Eminem is the GOAT. And when you hear that, people are now starting to, and this conversation's been a topic of discussion for some years now, but it's really starting to get like very like it's a very big culture conversation, and I think people are starting to get offended when they hear that, and they don't want to accept it. And it's just like when someone's great at something, when they're the greatest, you're going to get more hate. Right? It's like saying Joe Budden saying that about M is like saying, oh, I don't like LeBron, when we all know and love for LeBron. I don't like LeBron. I don't like the way he dribbles the ball. Like, he fucking plays the game better than you, but, he bounces the ball too hard. Shut the fuck up. Like, people are trying to, like, tell me that's not the same. People really, are trying to shit on M for bending word. We all used to look at that as like, oh my God, how does he do that? Nobody else does that. But now when we're having these GOAT conversations, they're like, no, you can't do that because he does it. They're just trying to look for anything to say. And that really gets under my skin. So, Joe Budden, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say you are a better rapper or not. In my opinion, you're not, but I've always listened to your music. This is me talking directly to Joe. I've always listened to his music. I'm inspired by Joe's music. I'm motivated by it. And I love that he's from Jersey. I fucks with him heavy. But the thing is, bro, I'm telling you right now,
he's a bad
Joe, you need to respond to M, bro.
He's a bad representative for Jersey.
No, he's not. No, he's not. So. Then who's a better representative? Because all we've had is Lauryn Hill, Tretch from Naughty by Nature, Redman, like... these are all people that I think should be
Joe Budden.
I'll take Redman over fucking damn most anybody.
Because Redman can spit.
Redman can fucking and Redman has a.
And he's a nice person.
I was just gonna say, like North said, Redman is an entertainer. Like he has a presence when he's on the mic. He'll entertain the fuck out of you. That's who Redman is.
I really fuck
with
Redman.
Yes, very animated.
It's like New Jersey's Ludacris.
He's like the Busta Rhymes of like Jersey.
I'll
you know
give
what I
you
mean?
that.
Yeah, he's like very.
Yeah.
But back to what I was saying. Like, people are just looking for any little stupid shit to say, and like Joe Budden, my thing is like, bro, we want to hear your response. Like, I respect MGK on a whole different level because he actually responded to M. I want to hear Joe Budden respond to M.
Lyrically, Killshot is better than MGK.
Yeah, bro. Like, let's not even get into that. Like,
Lyrically.
Killshot, MGK got his ass handed to him.
And even he went on the Breakfast Club and said, I heard Killshot, I put my clip away. He was like, I had something for M when I heard Killshot.
Who said that?
MGK. He was like, when I heard Killshot, I was ready to come back at him.
He said he's not responding to it.
Put that shit away. But MGK, he said that the only reason he put, his new diss away is because, like, for one, he's in a different mind state.
He's in a different mind state, right.
Let out
M just wants to rap and battle people, and I love this version of M because I've been waiting for this for a long time. I love when he does that. Like, that's just who he is. You know what I mean? So I respect him for it. But MGK's just, he got all this buzz off this, so he might as well ride it out and make some quality music while everybody's watching him. And this is MGK's big shot, like M said.
We're not going to sit here and act like MGK hasn't been making quality music for
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I don't really know his discography. I haven't checked for his
is a lyricist
catalog.
For real. MGK is not only a lyricist.
He raps very well. I've heard him on, like the Chopper,
bro, he like
Tech Nine and MGK and Twista and all those fast rappers.
If Tech Nine puts you on a track, then you feel me?
That's what I'm saying. If you're on a track with all those spitters, bro, that's it.
Yeah,
you made it.
You can keep up. Come on.
You can rap the best in the game. So I respect him.
I think MGK definitely holds back a lot on his lyricism because he's more focused now on making songs. And that's the thing where...
And he should be more than ever now because of this buzz.
That's the difference between, me liking Lil Wayne over Eminem. Because I feel like Wayne can take a beat, take a song, give it a personality, and give it content at the same time. Because we've heard Wayne at his lyrical heights, and we've heard Wayne...
It just sits with you better. Okay.
I've heard Wayne at his lyrical heights, and I've heard Wayne just throw on a beat and just, make a wavy beat. And I think that's something that Eminem is lacking because Eminem is way...
He does. He definitely lacks that, and he knows it too. Like, he doesn't... He basically says he doesn't want to make shit like that or try it or
and I can't blame a man for his creative process.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if you're someone who comes into black music, someone who comes into hip hop, I feel like you should evolve with the times, And M doesn't necessarily have to do that because of his core fan base.
I was just gonna say he doesn't. Although he's found, I'm gonna tell you right now, like years ago when he was putting shit out. I mean, I wasn't obviously thinking of this at that time, but like now thinking back, he's evolved better and adapted better than I thought he ever could. I'm not gonna lie, like he's still very crazy relevant. As shit. How like he came back when he took like 4 years off, and people were saying like he was the highest selling artist of that decade, and he only rapped for 6 out of the 10 years, which was crazy. But like when he came back, I was so excited that he came back, but I didn't know like what he was gonna sound like. And at first, I didn't know how to digest it because he was doing like weird accents and shit on like Relapse. But like,
that's one of my favorite.
But
albums.
No, it's actually really a quality album. He really like did some different shit, and like I kind of fucks with it. Like he was on some like crazy psychopathic "I'm gonna kill you" type shit, and like. It kind of like I was an angry kid around that time, so like I really digested it well.
Here's my problems with Marshall. I think to a certain degree, as much as he does,
that's his experimenting.
Yeah.
That's his experimenting.
I think to a certain
and not
degree,
anybody could do that. That's crazy.
I think to a certain degree, as much as he does rap about depression and suicide and drug use on a serious note, he kind of turns around and contradicts himself and makes fun of the same people that he's trying to save, which is something I can't really appreciate.
I think, in his early like childhood, I think he got bullied so bad that I think it pissed him off, and I think he's kind of like the hip hop bully. Like he like wants to bully the world back for bullying him.
And I don't.
And I can relate in a sense because not only to a certain extent I was bullied in school. You know that.
Me too.
I was like that skinny motherfucker that everybody just wanted to test and fuck with. Like they wanted to check me, and like what I mean, whether it was like someone like swinging at me like uncalled for. Like I'm walking down the hallway and someone's swinging at my head, like without even like, you know what I mean, like not even saying a word, just coming up behind me and like swinging at me. Like that's some bitch ass fuck shit. That's some fuck, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Like I remember getting, this kid knocked me out and I woke up. This kid woke me up. And I started looking around. I'm like, what just happened? He's like, yo, what's his name hit you? And I started running down the hallway looking for him. I never found him, of course, but, like, that motherfucker booked. But, like, that's the kind of shit that I used to deal with. You know what I mean? Because people wanted to test me.
And that's why you fucks with
I had a big mouth. I was very like, I would get defensive, and I would always back myself up. Like, I couldn't. I wasn't like equipped to be fighting big ass motherfuckers. But you're still
not about to finna punk me.
Like, nah, like shit. I
I'll
always
hurt your feelings if you hurt my face.
Yeah, if you were 400 pounds and 6'5", I was still talking that shit.
Kill yourself, fat ass.
You know what I mean? Like that, yeah. But like I'm not, and that's why I just feel like because of I was that quiet kid that didn't. I wasn't. I can't say I was quiet, but I was the kid that kept to himself.
Yeah.
I was very aggressive and hyper because of the ADHD, but I was the kid that kept to himself. But when people started fucking with me, I felt like I had to defend myself. And honestly, I got put into a situation especially in my late teens and my early 20s. That phase was a very dark phase for me because leading up to that, I dealt with so much bullshit.
Yeah.
This is where I can understand where M's coming from to an extent. He's never gotten help for that. He's recovered from drugs and addiction, but he's never got help for his mental illnesses. And I think he needs to, because I'm so grateful that I noticed where my life was heading in my early 20s, and I finally said enough is enough because I was so angry and I wanted to get back at the fucking world.
Yeah.
For fucking me so many times. Like
and
I was like,
that wasn't really a healthy
no,
thing.
It was not healthy. I was so upset. I was always complaining and bitching, and I felt bad for myself, and I just had to overcome it and deal with it, man. Like I had to go through a lot of shit, and when I finally overcame it, when I finally accepted that, you know, because I see through a lot of shit. Like I see shit that, this is what I'm blessed with. I was born this way. I see shit that other people don't see. Word. I catch vibes. I catch emotions. I see what people are thinking in their minds. I see things. So like when I can't do the fake shit. When people tell me like, yo, I love you, or yo, you're my boy, or yo, this or that, whether it was family, friends, anybody, the average person's gonna take that and like just like soak it up and take it for what it is. You know what I mean? At face value. For me, I was looking at people saying shit like that, and I just didn't fucks with it because I didn't believe them. So like I had trust issues because people were lying to my face all the time, and like, you know what I mean. So like that really puts you in a certain place. That's why I'm able to sit here and like defend a guy like that, because he's 40-something years old and he still hasn't come to terms, you know, where he's coping. Or he's coping, but he's not getting to the root of the problem for his mental illnesses. He went through a lot of shit, bro.
Yeah, and it leaks out into his music, you know? Like,
he's not okay. The man is not okay.
The way that he attacks people, the way that he goes about certain things is like, you can tell that Eminem is not
this is his fucking, like, therapy.
Yeah.
I promise you, I feel like if he didn't have music, bro,
he'd kill himself.
He would have killed himself a long time ago or killed somebody.
Yeah.
Like, he's not okay.
But at the same time, like, everybody who listens to him knows that Eminem is not okay, but for him to turn around and like say certain derogatory things,
two wrongs don't make it right.
Yeah, exactly. For him to turn around and say certain derogatory things about certain things that people have actually gone through, to me, is very unfair.
Right.
And secondly, I feel like if any artist comes into black music, and whether you be black or white, you need to speak on issues that go on in the black community. And I haven't really heard Eminem really directly speak about it.
Oh, no, he does. He does. More so than a lot of people.
I've heard songs like Mosh. I've heard songs like White America where I've listened, I'm like, all right, like, thank you. You feel me? Like,
nah, he's always talking about some shit. Like,
but
could he touch on it more? Sure. Like maybe saying. Like a T.I. or like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like someone.
I would love him to get involved consciously with people that look up to him, you know, because MGK made a great point that like he was like, we don't talk to him, we don't see him, you know, he's not out with the people like he should be, and to a certain degree that's not really his fault. Yeah,
he became such a big megastar at an early point in his career,
but like, at the same time,
couldn't help it.
Why not go out and touch?
He was sheltered from all of the game itself, you know. as a child, pretty much. I mean, he was in his 20s, and here he is blowing up into this megastar. He didn't even realize what was happening while he was heavy into doing drugs. Wasn't realizing what the fuck was going on. Before he knew it, the snap of a finger, he's this megastar, and now they're sheltering him and saying, you have to move like this, you have to do that. And that's just kind of what it was. With that.
I
honestly have not only because he helped me cope with a lot of shit that I was going through in my life as a kid, but this is why I'm so defensive on M. Like, and why I got real offended when that dude said I like him because he's white. I didn't appreciate that because I'm white. Like, I don't appreciate that because not only has he helped me cope with a lot of shit, I can relate to a lot of shit. Yeah. I can relate. When you can think about it. Some of your best friends, you're friends with them because you can relate with them. You guys have common interests, you know? Yeah. I might not be able to relate with everything with him, but I could relate better than when Weezy's talking about doing drugs. Because that's not me.
You know what's crazy?
You know what I mean? So it's just like I can relate better, and that's why you relate better.
I'd rather listen to I Feel Like Dying rather than Rock Bottom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I just listened to Rock Bottom earlier today. He was like, I got problems. Now everybody on my blocks got them. I'm screaming like those two cops when Tupac shot him. Yo, he went ham on that shit. And like, that's the Eminem I appreciate.
I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, my thing is like, I'm glad to see. I preach mental health all day to everybody, and I want to make sure everybody's all right. And I'm glad to see where not only where I could relate to him when he was a kid going through shit, and I could as well. Like, but I'm glad to see where he went, where he took it, like from where he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's not okay. Like, honestly, if I got to talk to him, I mean, I don't know who the fuck's gonna tell M like, yo, you need to get your mental health in check. But like. Exactly. You know what I mean? But, like, I think he should. You know what I mean? Before the guy dies, like, I think he should. But, I mean, if that means sacrificing his quality music, I don't want to do it.
And listen, never will I ever take anything away from Eminem as a lyricist and as even a storyteller to a certain degree. But to me, we've seen M, and a lot of people say that M has a lot of different lanes. And the reason I disagree with that is because as intellectual as I am, I'm also a lyricist, and when I put those two things together, I can notice the fact that M doesn't really have a lot of lanes, and the lanes that he
wouldn't say a lot, but he has his certain lanes. I feel like the lanes that he does have, he camouflages really well because M. He doesn't have just one. No, but he does. I wouldn't say he has like a plethora of.
No, he doesn't. Lanes. I feel like M gives you like the same thing over and over and over again on every album, but he just hides it differently. Not he hides it well, but someone who's as intellectual as me or intellectual as you and really pays attention to.
Yeah, he sticks to that same format. He's got the one heartbreak song. Mm-hmm. He's got the one deep song where he's basically just talking about killing someone. He's got the pop hit, the one that either people fuck with it heavy and you hear it in the club, or people think it's corny. He's got the one where he tries to basically mimic like the Game Now and like use their flows and shit. Like he just sticks to that same consistent, and I'm okay with it. But would I like to? If you're gonna ask me if I would like to see M get super experimental on some maybe like Chance the Rapper type shit, or like
imagine fucking Eminem, bro, on a ASAP Rocky beat.
On that, or like a Anderson .Paak type of, or you know what I mean, like on some Mac Miller, like or Kendrick, like
To Pimp a Butterfly
like
type shit,
soul and blues type of, like, you know what I mean.
I would love to hear him on that.
He could, I think,
he could massacre that lane.
I think he could do. I mean, he's creative and talented enough. I just don't think he wants to. I wouldn't take it away from him and say he can't.
And
I don't think that's his lane. I think he's scared about, because he always has valued he cares what people think of him, despite what we think or not.
Of course,
he's not just that arrogant.
With this album,
he cares what people think. You can hear it in his. He really he wants you to know that he's still trying hard to rap. That's a point that Joe Budden made. That Joe Budden's right. He wants us to know he can still rap. He doesn't have to, but he still wants us to know he's going hard.
Yeah,
and
which I respect.
Because I respect it too. Like to be that old in the game, a lot of people's passion just it dies out, and like
rap
he's
is
still
kind of the
going
only
hard.
thing that M has, bro.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
like it's not just a day job for him. Like that's something that keeps him alive, which I can definitely respect.
Like
about
he's
him.
like it's like a bodybuilder that took off for so many years, and like all of a sudden he wants to come back, but now he's even stronger than ever because now he's taking steroids and like he, you know what I mean? Like,
but here's why I'll take Kanye or Wayne or even A$AP Rocky over M, because no album sounds the same, no formula is the same. Not Late Registration doesn't sound like College Dropout.
I wouldn't say any of M's albums sound the same other than Slim Shady LP and Marshall Mathers LP.
I think a lot of
to a certain extent they sound the same, but I don't think after that I've just watched nothing but growth. Eminem Show sounds completely different. Encore sounds completely different from that. Encore wasn't one of my favorite, but there's a couple really
I don't think
strong.
Encore was anyone's favorite.
Yeah, it was. There's a couple
it
really
got a lot
strong
of mixed reviews on
yeah,
it was one of his flops.
It was rated one of his best, and to me, it just wasn't. And then, but when he came back with Relapse, I didn't like it at first, but then I loved it. And then Recovery, it was a totally different side again. Like he can't. That was the first time we've ever seen M like that. And then Marshall Mathers LP 2, it had feels of the Marshall Mathers LP, the original one, but it wasn't the same. And then when he came out with Revive, they've all been different. All his albums are different. They really are. They really are.
I'm not going to say sonically they aren't different. I just think like his formulas are the same, and I can
formula. He always has
them, you feel me?
That one.
With Kanye West, when he switches up his sonics and when he switches up his beats,
Kanye West is very experimental.
His lyricism changes. You feel me? When Wayne switches up his shit, his lyricism changes. Lollipop is one of the highest selling Wayne songs ever, but we all know Wayne as a lyrical beast.
Right.
And he didn't spit anything substantial on that song at all.
Well, we know Wayne as that, but we also now,
as a poppy,
we know, he's a pop
South bouncer type.
Like him and Drake tore up the charts together with their pop joints.
I think they almost got a Grammy off a mixtape, bro.
Yeah, probably.
That shit is crazy. All right,
what do you think about this? I got to ask you. So, did you hear about in Kill Shot? Eminem said, I don't know exactly how he said it, but he said something about Diddy had Biggie killed.
That was a tad disrespectful, but if people research that and find out that Diddy really did kill Pac or Biggie, then we need to thank Eminem, because this case needs to be put to rest.
Yeah, my thing is like, look, I'm gonna say this. Like, we could talk snitching all day. Like, all right, cool. Don't snitch on somebody like it's the code of the streets. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a snitch or I believe in snitches.
There are people grieving still for
But, however, for someone... All right, let me just at least speak for myself first, because there's people that are related to Biggie. There's people that knew Biggie. There's people that came up with Biggie. I never met Biggie in my life, okay? I don't personally... I don't put Biggie in my top 5 or anything.
I don't even put him in my top 10.
Bro, on some real shit, I'm not about to sit here and tell you that every time I watch Notorious, I don't shed a tear. That
was a great movie.
Fucks me up because, listen,
that was a really good
and
movie.
It's not, and for all the people that think I haven't been following Biggie like my whole life, I've been a fan since I was in the 90s. You know what I mean? So like, I love Big, and you know, there's people, like you said, like out here really, like truly grieving over the shit. And enough is enough. Like, we deserve the right to know what the fuck happened. It's a fucking mystery with the Pac and the Biggie death. Like, it's a mystery, and we deserve to know, like, exactly what went down, how it went down, and why it went down, and people deserve to you know, to have that closure. That closure. We need I need closure, man. Like, it fucks me up. And M's been talking about this since I remember M talking about it on the Marshall Mathers LP. He was like driving up at the car that they shot Pac in, looking for Big's killers.
Yeah.
Dressing ridiculous, blue and red. Like, I don't see what the big deal is.
Oh shit, he did say
like,
that. What song is it?
Double barrel 12. Biggie patches. Yeah,
is that I Don't Give a Fuck?
Maybe I'm Back or Marshall Mathers. It was on that album, but I'm telling you right now, like he's been waiting to say something like that for the fucking longest time.
Right, so,
for the last 18 years, he's been holding that bar back for the past 18 years.
You probably had that shit written down for
he went back in that fucking notebook and he's like, I'm saying it. I'm saying this shit.
Fuck it.
I don't give a fuck. It's almost 20 years. I refuse to let 20 years go by and not speak on it. So like, yo, I respect M for being the only one. Honestly, I feel like he's one of the only people that truly will tell you 100% of his thoughts. A lot of rappers, they might get deep, but they're only telling you 80, 85%. Like, they hide shit. And he tells you everything.
And the thing is with M, he'll speak his mind. And
he'll speak his mind. He doesn't give a fuck.
Nobody will do shit about it.
Nobody's going to do shit. But the thing is,
nobody, bro.
Nobody's going to do shit. Because listen, if Eminem gets touched or something happened, I'm just going to, God forbid if that ever happened, like, I'd be devastated.
People are going to riot if Eminem gets
I'm going to tell you right now, if he got touched or something happened to him, so much as a smack on the face, I guarantee you that person that did that, they would get theirs in like literally within like
8 hours.
Yeah. I'm saying like 40 minutes. Like that motherfucker's getting found and that's it.
We see it on TMZ.
It's not going to be an eye for an eye either. Someone smacks M, that person's getting decapitated in like an hour.
Nobody is catching the fare, bro.
All I'm saying is because he's done a lot for the culture, but more importantly, just people have just mad respect for him and his rapping abilities. But aside from all that, Diddy did say I think he responded to like Budden and he said it's going to get dealt with or I have it handled. I'll handle it.
Diddy not finna do shit. But
so
let's hold on.
I don't know what that means. What do you think that means?
I feel like Diddy probably.
Do you think Diddy's secretly gonna try to? You think Diddy's gonna try to Biggie Eminem?
Diddy not finna do shit.
Do you think he's gonna try to Biggie Eminem?
Diddy not finna do shit. He's not. Because he know who the fuck Eminem is. He know who the fuck, bro. You know Eminem really rolled with killers, right? Like,
yeah.
Yes. Nobody going to touch that, man. Eminem.
He's been talking about Runyon Avenue soldiers like his whole life. Like he's gang affiliated. Like people from. Listen, like Trick, like real OGs from Detroit, Eminem really fuck with it.
Yes,
he's really well protected. Like
he's really not to be fucked with.
He's respected in the hood.
Like, shit neither. Yeah, like Eminem is really
they
a
got
gangster.
him, bro.
Eminem is really a gangster.
Yeah.
So Diddy not finna do shit,
and he's really crazy. So
yeah, exactly. So I think personally, to the core of this whole situation, I think Eminem and MGK just need to sit down and talk to each other like men or fight like men.
Well, the most recent interview I saw, MGK. I think it was he on where was he in a Breakfast Club? I forget what it was.
He was wearing like some coat with no shirt on.
Some shit like that.
Yeah. He was wearing a coat with no shirt on.
Yeah, he basically I forget what interview it was, but they were asking MGK like, you know, would you and M ever talk? And he said that man doesn't want to talk. Like M doesn't want to talk.
He doesn't.
And he really doesn't. M just wants to rap and have fun, but like
I feel like it's an ego thing to a certain degree too.
Maybe.
I feel like Eminem could be low key.
I mean, he has the right to feel that way. Do I ever think your arrogance is blindness? Like, do I ever think your arrogance should take over? And I'm just saying, like, he has every right. The way I've seen that man rap, like,
is there really a need to talk?
You don't need to. He not only does he not need to prove anything to us, but he still does.
Exactly.
So like when I see it, I just have more respect.
MGK does the same thing because people try and run his career through the dirt. But we're talking about a man.
I have respect for him. Do I think he's better than M? No. But do I respect? Yo, if I saw MGK, I'd shake his hand and be like, yo, the fact that you dissed M, bro.
And nobody's going to kill his career.
People, I don't remember the last time someone actually dissed M and
but Eminem's response is the highest diss ever in YouTube history.
Yeah, I heard that's crazy.
It got 15 million views in 6 hours.
That's crazy. That just goes to show you, bro.
So the fact that he waited 2 weeks was a genius calculation.
His album's like #1 in like fucking I think 153 countries or something right now. Like the fuck, like
that's crazy.
That's so crazy, bro. Like I could only hope and pray.
I think he probably just went platinum. Eminem's probably the first person to go like platinum in a day. That's crazy.
It's so stupid. It sold almost 500,000 copies. But I think in the first week.
If we're talking,
albums don't sell like that anymore. Like that's wild, bro.
But if we're talking lyricism, we're talking skill. Eminem killed the shit out of MGK
he murked
when it comes to the diss. But the reason
do you think Well, I'll let you finish what you were saying, and then I got a question for you.
I think I like listening to Rap Devil better because I like MGK's cadence on
The
it,
style,
and yeah, and he came with facts.
It's very 2018.
Yeah. He came with facts. He was not afraid. He came with energy. Like it was lyrically.
Although
I
was shocked when I heard Kill Shot, it was like a trap beat.
Yeah, so it was a Ronnie J beat.
Yeah, it was.
Ronnie J used to be X's producer before X died.
Yeah, so like that. When I heard that, I was like, "What the hell?"
Eminem went to Ronnie J, bro. Eminem went to Ronnie J. Ronnie J wasn't shit until
Wait,
X.
did the dude that produced that? Did he also produce
Rap Devil? Yeah,
he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he produced both of them.
And not only did he do that, but he's produced almost all of X's music. So not only is that big for like diss culture, but that's big for X's people.
Yeah.
That's big for rap culture.
Yeah.
That's big for the nuances, the new age niggas who fuck with Ronnie J, and the old dudes who are like, who the fuck is this producer that Eminem just grabbed? You feel me?
Right.
That's gonna put Ronnie J in a way better spot, and it's gonna put people like Kid Trunks, XXX
You make a beat. You make a beat for M. That's bragging rights. I mean, your career's
exactly, bro.
taking
Ronnie
your
J
career
is
to the
now
next level.
Solidified. He was solidified before in the underground because of X and Ski Mask and shit. But Eminem took a beat from him, and MGK. MGK has sold 20 million albums. Eminem has sold hundreds of million. So, boom, Ronnie J's career is now solidified. Now he's gonna be Ronnie J's finna be our Timbaland. You feel me? Like,
Right.
So I definitely give salute to Eminem for giving Ronnie J that fucking that shot and buying that beat from him. But I like underdogs. You feel me? And MGK is definitely the underdog in this situation. But if we're gonna sit here and talk skill, what am I gonna be biased? Rap Devil is not even the best we've seen from MGK as far as lyricism goes, and it definitely doesn't stand toe to toe with Eminem's skill. But I like the diss better because of the fact that he came with facts, he wasn't afraid, and the fact that this will be the first person who has dissed Eminem whose career won't be ruined from it.
Yeah.
Every single person that has dissed Eminem has no
I mean, I
say
figured
in
like
hip-hop culture.
a lot of people, can you listen to both? Can you move on from this and listen to both? Sure. But I feel like a lot of people are going to have to pick a side. Like,
bro, Killshot had so many fucking bars.
Yeah.
So many metaphors to a point to where I don't even give a fuck if he didn't come with facts. I would like to see it because Eminem is known for actually
He did come with facts, but on top of it, like he said...
Every Eminem diss, he comes with facts about the actual situation. Yeah. This time he didn't. He kind of just made fun of MGK, which is something that like I wouldn't want to see from M. But
it is all. You can't say they're not facts.
Yeah,
they're facts. They're all facts. Like he's saying, like
it was super bar heavy. It was super metaphor heavy. It was so clever. So I'll give that to M.
You gotta spin it back a few times.
Yeah,
like I had to.
unless MGK responds again with something more lyrical and something more factual, Eminem has it.
Here's why I know people don't listen to lyrics, because when I was half listening the first time I heard it, I was just like, sometimes like you'll listen to something and it'll draw you in. Sometimes it won't draw you in. You actually have to try hard to listen to the lyrics.
That's why you need to listen to ASAP's new
album. So I was like drawn in, and not completely yet though, where I was like tuned into the lyrics. I was just listening to the vibe, everything, how hard he was coming on the disc, and I had to spin it back again and spin it back again and again. And like the more I listened to it, I heard shit, because I wasn't listening for the same reason anymore. I was listening for different shit. Like, now I want to know the content. Now I want to know what he said. Now, you know what I mean? I wasn't listening for like the delivery and the vibe. And you just listen to songs for different reasons sometimes. And like when I finally listened to it for the lyricism, this is why I know, this is another reason why a lot of people that really should probably keep their mouth shut, because they don't know a thing about lyricism. A lot of people that diss M or don't side with him or think that he's whack or whatever the fuck they say, they're not actually listening. Because he says shit, you actually have to listen. He says some crazy shit.
I just think M's music as a whole is trash. He's not as creative as he used to be. But will I ever fucking
see? But some people could argue that he's more creative.
They could, but
as far as like the catchiness of the song, yeah, it's not, because there was once a time, there was a lane for his type of music back then, a lot more so. But now, you know. Now all he's got is like, he's just got to go hard with like flows and cadences and rhyme schemes, and he's just got it. Well, it's not what's popular. So that's all he's got. So like there's a lane for that in hip hop, but he can't make a he can't go make a he's not like one of these YouTube artists. He can't go make a stand.
He can't.
And we're all gonna like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He can't make a I don't know. It's just it's different.
It's way different.
You know what I mean? So,
but
let's move on. Let's move on from this.
Eminem won, and I'm someone who doesn't even like his music all the way.
He definitely won.
Eminem won.
All right, what's the wave? We're gonna talk about. Let's talk about the dumbest trends in hip hop.
Double XL shirts.
Let's go through
and
a list of
capri pants and Gucci with Adidas.
Are we talking current or so you're bringing it back?
I hate
because people don't wear big shit anymore.
I hate so many fucking. Are you
well,
talking
actually no? Yo, what's weird is
that's
90s is coming, but 90s though, not like that was like early 2000s, like with the super baggy shit, but. The shit is starting to get a little baggier. Just not like we're not talking like fucking
Raph Simmons,
tall tees like 3X, 4X tall tees.
Raph Simmons and Gucci and Versace are coming out with like baggy cargo pants again.
Yo, Champion, like Adidas, all that shit like fucking Fila.
Shit
like,
is getting baggier, but it's definitely getting a lot more artistic. It's not.
Yes,
it's not becoming.
It's like, a little tighter. Yeah. It's a little more fitted.
But
it's a
not
little
like draped over your fucking body.
Nah, yeah.
You know? Like it definitely fits you, but you can tell that.
And I fuck with it.
It was made to be baggy, not you picked up something that's your size.
Right.
That is 3 times your size.
Go to a mall and go take a walk through like Forever 21. Like I fuck with a lot of that 90s shit is coming back, and I really fuck with it.
I got this denim jacket from F21 the other day.
Yo, I like Forever 21.
But
it's dope.
I've been wearing skinny jeans for a long time. I feel like skinny jeans will never die just because like they're the appropriate jeans to wear for your size. If you were to wear like the new baggy trend that's going on with like the camo pants and shit like that and like that kind of trend, then you're definitely going outside of your fashion.
I can do tighter, but I can't do skinny jeans. Like I need to let my shit breathe a little bit. Like I can't be doing all like can't be hugging like my leg and shit. You know what I mean?
I definitely
that's a little crazy for me, but
I think the dumbest trend right now. And it's sad because one of my favorite artists started it, or like recreated it, is designer with urban shit. Like I'm not trying to see you with a Bape hoodie on and a Michael Kors belt. I think that shit is retarded.
I mean, you already know this.
And I think drug dealing culture made it.
If we're talking about dumb trends, I'm just gonna put this out there. And it might sell, it might work, it might have shock value, it might get kids to turn their heads and look at these artists. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna say it right now, the colored hair and all that crazy shit. To me, I'm not rocking with that.
You know what?
I think that's a dumb trend.
You know what someone mentioned to me the other day, and he's my friend. He listens to rap music, but he listens to like hardcore music. He said, rap music is going through its emo phase.
It is.
It totally is, bro. Because you got niggas with full-on pistols gangbanging, like rapping and singing about the most emo shit.
So, all right. So if it's going through a phase, like you go through like an emo phase, and then when you come out of that, you go to like a more casual phase, right?
I went through an emo phase, yeah.
Like you finally, like you think hip hop's gonna grow up and mature to the point where it's like grown man type shit.
Like I said, bro,
we're gonna get over the. You think like the emo and the mumble rap shit is gonna end or
no? It's not gonna die out. These rappers, these mumble rappers, are actually talented. They're actually going to evolve the older they get because they're going to realize
to a certain extent. I think some of them, and I'm talking very limited. To a certain extent, like a small percentage of them are talented. Because I'm not just going to hate just because I don't like the way they look or I don't like what they're talking about or I don't think they have content or whatever. Just because that's not my type of shit. I'm not, because I heard some of their shit and like some of it, I'm like, all right, this is cool, this is catchy. Like I want to vibe out to it.
You got to understand, Busta Rhymes when his career first started, he was doing some real outlandish shit too.
He was, well,
you know. So was Missy Elliott.
Busta Rhymes, Eminem, Missy Elliott,
and they were all super young when they were doing that shit. You know, they let themselves be young and be creative.
Yeah.
And then you saw their maturity. You know, Busta Rhymes doesn't dress like that. He's definitely still crazy fucking animated, but
he was very animated. Like
it's a mature version of Busta Rhymes. And these people like Trippie Redd and Lil Pump and Smoke Perp and shit, they're going to mature because these are the people that hung around X. These are the people who hung around, you know, like, who know actually about hip-hop culture. Like, X did an interview, and he was like, bro, like, don't ever compare me to Pac. I like Biggie way more. And X was only 20 years old. You feel me? X knew about Biggie. Trippie Redd knows about Max B. Lil Pump.
Yeah, but then you get interviews like Lil Yachty saying, like, I don't know who
But
Biggie and Pac are.
You also see Lil Yachty. There's a video of him freestyling, I think, on Flex, and he's actually spitting. Like, he's actually going.
Yeah, but
some of these rappers care about their aesthetic more than they care about, lyrics, because that's what's selling right now.
And that's fine, but you better know. Like, here's
when
my
all
thing.
The smoke and mirrors
you have to
done,
know. You have to know the whole game. Like, for me, I might not listen to mumble rap, but I know it.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, if I hear a song, like, I'll know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know who the person is. Like, you have to know, like, so for me to know that, they better know, especially who started the shit. That's just all I'm saying.
I would definitely like these new rappers to, pay a little bit of homage, but you also have to understand that these old niggas don't really even want them in the game to a certain degree.
So I'm not rocking with the fucking rainbow hair and all that shit. I'm not.
I fucks with that shit, bro. I think it's such a great lane for hip hop.
All it is, it's for shock value and sales. That's all it is. These people don't want to do that in real life. They don't.
I don't necessarily.
If it wasn't
agree.
for, if they could, I'm telling you right now. You're not about to sit here and tell... Now, listen, hip-hop's a place to come and express yourself, and that's fine. But you're not about to tell me these people just really want to do that.
Let me tell you why. Because I follow some of these people, and I have followed them before their career. People like X, people like Trippy, people like Lil Yachty were off that hair-dyeing shit before they even really got crazy major clout. You feel me? And so was Pump, so was... One of Pump's first videos,
but they knew what their goal was. They knew that they had to.
Yeah, but you can't say that doesn't.
If
stem
I fucking
from their
spray paint my hair a
personality.
different color right now and start walking around, I'll guarantee you I'd blow up in the next year. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
That's the.
But I won't do it.
That's the difference between you and these artists. A lot of these artists act and dress that way because that's who they genuinely are. I'm not gonna sit here and argue that they don't,
and
emphasize
then
it.
I would tell them to keep doing it because I think people should be who they are. Don't give us some fake fucking bullshit persona.
I feel like this lane of hip hop, it's not gonna die down. It's going to evolve. It's going to evolve from mumble rap to probably just lyrical trap music. Like
I want to see what it evolves into. No, because we've already had lyrical trap. It's going to be something new. It's always something different.
Yeah,
it's always something that we're like, well, what's this?
I definitely think grown man rap is coming back though, because 2 Chainz is
to
killing
a certain
the charts.
extent. It is.
2 Chainz is killing the charts. Pusha T is killing the charts. Meek Mill's out of jail. He's a grown ass man. People still love him. The Game is still super relevant. T.I. is still super relevant. Because these are the artists that are looking at the young niggas like, all right, I was this age before. I was this rebellious before, so let me reach out to you. When Young Thug came out and niggas was trying to fuck with him, T.I., of all people, reached out to him and said, yo, let's go do a song.
And they made some shit. And, yo, Young Thug, I actually fuck with Young Thug. Like, honestly.
Thug be saying some shit.
That's not my, it's not even about what he says. Like, I would never listen to Young Thug. If I want to hear what someone said, I'll go listen to someone else. You know what I mean? Like Royce the 5'9" or Black Thought or something like that. But, like, when I'm trying to vibe out and just have fun, you know what I mean? Let loose, put on a Thug song. Yeah, I mean, he's got some shit. But, What other stupid trends do you think?
Tekashi 6ix9ine's grills are stupid. Jesus Pieces are stupid.
I'm not fucking with grills.
I like grills. I just don't like them.
I get the whole southern. Like, I get that. Like, listen. It's all love. Like, I'm all for the southern hip hop. Like, that whole that culture and everything. Like,
it's
all
like
about
when you
it.
get a gold grill from the South, bro. That's when you get off the porch. You feel me? That's when.
Yeah. No. Listen, I get it, and I get why people get them. I'm just to other people, it looks crazy. Like, what else?
Balenciagas are ugly. Gucci sneakers are ugly.
To a certain extent.
Fanny packs are coming back. I'm not fucking with that at
Fanny
all.
packs are coming back.
I don't like that. I like side purses.
I know chicks that wear fanny packs.
I fucks with man purses, hard body. I'm not gonna lie. Satchels.
I know a chick that wears a fanny pack every day.
She should be ashamed of herself.
No. She should fully embrace that shit.
No, she shouldn't.
She should embrace it because she rocks it well.
What
I
else?
fucks with it.
I'm kind of getting sick of niggas like. Ever since X came out and shit, I'm kind of getting sick of niggas coming out and acting all fucking emo and like they're tied to the streets when we know that's not your real personality. Like,
yo, you know what's crazy?
Like, X was a real street nigga before he before anything. He was always
Why
off
do
that.
I hear about a new rapper every day?
Bro, Icy Narco, fucking, there's this new Asian.
There's these new rappers that I remember when I first heard about X.
Instagram,
I remember
bro.
when I first heard about 6ix9ine. I remember when I first heard, like, these dudes popped up like almost overnight, and now they're huge. And you know, rest in peace to X. He's not here to really live it out, but like I'm seeing like these new artists, and they're talking about them on like big platforms right now, and I'm just like, should I know who this person is already? Like, why are they talking about? Where the fuck are these? Where's the factory that they're making these motherfuckers at?
They
like,
come from Instagram.
I need to understand.
Instagram.
Why are people blowing up so fast?
Because of Instagram.
When I was a kid, it took so long. You would hear a song, we would digest it for a couple years. They would put out another song. We would say, this person's good. I want to hear more shit. You would hear a project. You liked it. You know, gradually that person would you would hear about them. I remember hearing about J. Cole and Kendrick for the first time. You know, I went and looked up all their older shit and watched them grow and mature into what they are. Now you hear about an artist and they're just like the hottest thing out. You know what I mean? You could trend for – and the sad thing is, if they're not good or they don't, you know, they're not consistent, they could fucking pop off and trend for like a couple weeks and then fall off.
Yeah.
They got to really stay consistent.
And a lot of it is just because of their image and because – society,
that's my point. Like,
society nowadays is super, super advanced. You feel me? So like,
as soon as we end this, I'm going home to spray paint my hair fucking rainbow, and that's it.
If you're not consistent and if you don't use social media and shit, you're kind of irrelevant to the rap game nowadays. Unless you already have a core fan base like T.I. or Kendrick or Bryson Tiller or Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez just deleted every fucking picture off his Instagram because he feels like Instagram is becoming too much of a trend for people to get outside of their bodies and make a new persona for themselves. And which I totally back and I totally agree with. Because, like, as much as I back these new niggas, Instagram is what makes them popping. When I see some of these new niggas come out and claim...
they don't listen. Here's one thing. They don't have the hustle mentality that the OGs had. They don't. They're not out there getting it.
When I hear these new niggas come out and they claim certain streets and claim certain ties, I'm like, bro, we don't believe you. You started popping off Instagram. Like, we don't believe you. It's only your niggas can certify you, and we're not really believing that because they're your niggas. So we're not. Yeah. It's trends like that make me super mad about hip-hop and super mad that, like, Instagram exists because niggas will really beef with you on Instagram and say they'll fuck you up, fuck your dead homie and all this shit, but you'll see him at a festival and nothing will happen. Niggas are really pussies in the rap game right now, and they claim...
That, to me, that's a dumb trend because back in the day, like, people didn't check each other so much. Like, shit was real. Like if someone... you know, brought it to the streets, like, shit really went down. Now everybody's yapping at the mouth and saying some dumb shit. Everybody's got a mouthful to say about everyone. Like, everybee's hard and in a gang all of a sudden. Everybody's gang affiliated, all these new rappers.
Bro,
that I'm not okay with because 90% of them are not, okay? The 10% of them that actually are, if that, they're not about to do some shit anyway.
These niggas are not.
So, like, stop talking about
this
it.
This is why I hold X to such high regard.
You're not.
This is why I hold X to such high regard because some of these new rappers that come out and claim certain gangs and claim certain shit, they get exposed real quick. There's videos of X doing gang handshakes. There's videos of X fighting niggas, beating niggas up, throwing up gang signs. There's niggas that have been around X that are tied to the street that really do sit there and, like, give him his street cred. And if you look at his track record, like his actual criminal record, X was always off some goon shit. You feel me? These little niggas and these new niggas that come out are really only carbon copies of X, Trippie Redd, and fucking A$AP Rocky. And Wayne to a certain degree. Like, these niggas aren't really actual thugs. These niggas aren't really actually doing what they say they do in songs. So I don't necessarily agree with that because I stopped rapping about guns when I realized that shit wasn't going to get me nowhere because I never shot a nigga in my fucking life. I know a nigga that'll shoot you. I'll shoot you if I need to, but I never had to shoot a nigga. So I'm not about to talk about it in my songs.
Right.
You feel me? These niggas come out and talk about how many Dracos they got,
Let me tell you
AKs
something.
they got. We don't do not shoot shit.
Whatever people talk about the most
is what they're doing the least.
Is what they're doing the least, exactly. And that's in most cases. That's not in all cases, but that's in most cases. And I say that to say this. All you young rappers...
Why you think Ja Rule got exposed so fucking quick?
Right.
Ja Rule wasn't doing none of the shit that he was talking. New York, I got 100. No, the fuck you don't.
Right.
No, you don't, Ja
Exactly.
Rule. No, you don't, Jeffrey Atkins. No, you fucking don't.
I'm done with this. Yeah, but like all these new rappers, they just keep saying shit, and you know they're not about that life. They don't really live that life, and if they do, like stop talking about
Now,
it.
niggas like Trippie Redd.
You know damn right if you really live that life, you wouldn't be flaunting it. You wouldn't be talking about it.
Niggas like Trippie Redd, niggas like Lil Pump, even surprisingly, niggas like G Herbo, niggas like X, niggas like Ski Master Slump God. There's videos of them on the gram. There's niggas who can back their ties up that really like claim that really like approve them in the streets. You feel me? Some of these new niggas are really out here thugging. They just happen to have colored
that's
hair
fine.
and
Keep it to themselves.
Red
like,
fucking makeup. So,
if that's what you want to, if that's what you claim, that's what you want to rep. You know, you rep a set or you're from a certain hood and you have people rocking with you. Then it is what it is.
But don't
like,
try and publicize it and make it a trend. That's the problem I have with Tekashi. As much as I know that he is tied into
there's
the
some
street,
people really living that life. Like,
Yeah.
don't try to. It's not a trend. It's not like.
Like, bro, Tekashi 6ix9ine, bro, as much as I know that he really do be around hood niggas, he kind of made the 9 Trey street gang like a fucking joke. Like,
That's like me posting videos in like Lambos and Maseratis and Bugattis and Wraiths every day, and like I really don't actually.
I'm giving them straight back to the dealership.
I really don't. Right, like I'm stealing people's fucking cars all day, but I really don't have those cars. They're not my cars, But here I'm posting shit all day, like me in these whips, and
It's not cool.
No, it's not cool. Like don't.
It gives.
If that's not your life, don't.
It gives the youth a really big false sense of.
And that's what,
sensationalism.
and you know that's what I have a problem
Yeah.
with. So like, you know what I mean? I want to speak to these men. I want to sit them down and have conversations with them.
So trends,
Shu wants to talk to these people.
Trends
you know
we need to stop. Stop fake gangbanging. Stop wearing Balenciagas. Stop wearing Balmains. Stop wearing Jesus pieces because it's blasphemous.
Stop hating on everything.
Stop hating
and start helping others every day before we fucking stomp hard on enemies. God damn it.
Facts. All right, next topic.
All right, for the next topic.
Let's make this a quick one.
Nah, it's not about to be a quick one, bro.
I gotta leave at 5.
So for the next topic, for spitballing, I want to talk about what are your. I'm curious, bro. I never asked you. What are your top 10 favorite mixtapes ever?
All right, keep count for me. Acid Rap. Right. No Ceilings. Sorry for the wait. Members Only 3. The Chicks Tape 4 is fire. New Toronto 2 is fire.
I'm losing count now.
That's like 6. Do I have?
How are you able to name them so fast?
Because I only really listen to new mixtapes. Can I put albums in there too? I'm not really like a
Just
big
mixtapes.
Oh fuck! All right.
Top 10 favorite mixtapes ever. I was gonna do a top 5, but I feel like, you know,
I haven't listened to all of the Soul Tapes, but Soul Tape 3 is fire. Flamers 2 is crazy. I got 2 more. Fucking New Faces by Mac Miller and Earl Sweatshirt's first mixtape.
Okay.
What about you, Shu?
So I guess for mixtapes, for me, I would say in no particular order because I can't do the order because it's tough as it is. Damn, this is gonna be tough. So I'm gonna have to put. I'm gonna put J. Cole's Friday Night Lights in there.
That was a good album. Damn,
Mixtape.
bro, I forgot about
Mixtape.
Section 80. I forgot about
No.
Damn.
Keep that same energy, bro. You didn't. So Friday Night Lights is it's just a classic, bro. It's crazy. Now I can't really decide which one, honestly, just because they're all a different flavor, but in the same realm. Logic's Young Sinatra mixtapes are fucking flames.
Basura.
I guess Welcome to Forever would probably be like the most
Who made that?
Logic.
Oh.
Welcome to Forever, I guess, would probably be the most modern / like he's got everything from like boom bap lyricism to like trap shit to like it's just a blend of everything, and that's like when everybody bitches about Logic today, that's the version of Logic that they want, like that they all miss. So like that was classic.
Oh, like
so I'm gonna say Friday Night Lights. I'm gonna say maybe Welcome to Forever. Here's another one. Like I can't even decide between Fab Soul Tapes. Like I can't decide which one's the best, 1, 2, or 3.
Soul Tape 3 is
They're all fucking flames, bro. All of them. I honestly.
What about Flamers 1, 2, and 3? Flamers 2 is my favorite.
Nah, for me, out of 1, 2, and 3, Flamers 2 would be my favorite, but I even consider Flamers 2.5 to be pretty dope.
He came out with the Flamers 2.5.
Flamers 2.5, the preview it was called. Yeah, I guess Flamers 2 would probably be the best, but I'm going to say for my top 10 mixtapes, Friday Night Lights, Welcome to Forever. I'll say Soul Tape. This is so tough. I'm going to say Soul Tape 2 or 3. Probably like Soul Tape 2 might be my favorite. Mr. Philadelphia is my favorite Meek mixtape. Me personally. Mr. Philadelphia. That goes hard as fuck. Acid Rap. Acid Rap, definitely.
Better than Coloring Book.
The Drought 3. The Drought 3. Because it was such a crazy point in my life. Like, I was a huge Wheezy fan, and, like, it was just so fun digesting that. It was so fun. You know what I mean? I was just, I was young and dumb and just out, living it up with my crew, and we were just, doing dumb shit, and it was great. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 6. I need 4 more. I would say 50 Cent's Power of a Dollar.
Bro, I'm so young.
Power of a Dollar is like, yo, that's like gritty 50 when he was talking about sticking up the whole game, and like this shit's hard, bro.
Was How to Rob on it?
Yeah. That's before he got shot. Like whole different voice, everything. Like his delivery was so different. Yeah, I got to put that in there. What's that, 7? I got 3 left.
Nas doesn't have any mixtapes.
I would say, I can't forget my man. I have to put it up there, but I'm trying to decide which one. I'm thinking Lloyd Banks right now, and it's either gonna be, fuck. So he's got Cold Corner 1, 2, and does he have a 3? And then he's got Failure's No Option. Honestly, I would say probably Cold Corner 2. I'm taking 2 from Lloyd Banks. I'm saying Cold Corner 2, and I'm saying Failure's No Option, either 2 or 3. I forget which one, but those 2. He's so slept on. Lloyd Banks is dirty, bro.
He can really rap.
Yeah. So that puts me at 9. I need 1 more. And then I'm putting Section 80 in there.
That's a really solid list.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Wow.
They're my favorite mixtapes. I know I'm probably forgetting something, and it kills me right now. I could probably take one of those Lloyd Banks mixtapes out and switch it with something. Not that it's bad, but I know there's something that I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
And I just went with 2 from Lloyd Banks. But what are your thoughts on that?
I think Section 80 is one of the greatest albums ever. I don't really listen to a lot of Lloyd Banks anymore, so I can't really make an opinion on that. But Section 80 is definitely a great fucking mixtape. Ignorance is Bliss is one of my favorite songs off that. Like,
Section 80 is crazy. But, like, you know why that was hard? Because, like, OD, Overly Dedicated, was so good.
Overly Dedicated.
Even Kendrick Lamar EP, but that wasn't a mixtape. That was considered his early, like, independent EP.
He said, made it an EP. They said I'm tripping. Kendrick Lamar raps like a preacher, dog.
Right?
Like, he raps like he's just trying to speak to, like, the world for the rest of his life, which I really like about him.
I really fucks with it.
Kendrick is definitely one of the best.
He's like Martin and Malcolm, like, fusioned in one as a rapper.
Yeah, because he'll definitely rap
really
about peace, but smack the shit out of you in person.
Yeah.
I definitely fucks with Kendrick Lamar's whole demeanor.
Absolutely.
Bro, mixtapes are super... I feel like the mixtape era is kind of dying out again.
I think so, too.
Which I really don't appreciate.
Like, people don't really, like... I talk to young kids all the time, and they don't really even know what Dat Piff is. Like...
NBA Youngboy is actually hitting niggas hard.
How do you not know datpiff.com? Like,
NBA Youngboy is actually hitting niggas really hard with the mixtape wave right now. Like...
Do you know how excited I used to get to go on Dat Piff and, like, look at new mixtapes and shit?
Bro, I totally fucking forgot about Welcome to Phasoland, dog. Welcome to Phasoland is one of the best street mixtapes I've heard in such a long time, bro. G Herbo fucking bodied that whole shit. Like,
yeah.
I think that's such a great fucking project. That's one of the best projects that Herb has ever come out with. Like, all of his shit is solid, but Welcome to Phasoland, the Pistol P project, Ball Like I'm Kobe is like, that's like classic Herb. Like,
right.
And a lot of people sleep on him and his lyricism, but Herb really speaks to the youth. He has a message. The only thing he's really lacking is, like, metaphors and, like, the consistency with his flow. But Herb is a beast. I fucks with Herb. Real rap.
By the way, I just remembered I'm taking out one of those Lloyd Banks mixtapes and I'm putting in a T.I. mixtape. It's called I Am. Everything I Was Made Me Everything I Am Part 2. That mixtape was hard.
T.I. is super slept on as a rapper and as an activist.
Putting that in there because T.I. is my guy.
He's a social icon, bro.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really appreciate T.I. for the intellect that he has, and I want that to change because T.I. is that nigga.
He needs to get respect. He needs to get respected alone just off the way he carries himself as a man, and, like, you know. I respect him on many levels, like, because he raises, a whole family.
Some of which kids aren't his.
Right. He raises a whole family, and I have respect for him. Nothing but respect for him there. He's a stand-up dude. You know what I mean? He raps well. He is a leader and role model for the black culture, and he actually speaks up on real world problems.
Yeah,
he's just a dope dude altogether. And he was just a young trap dude just trying to make it. Like, he really evolved into something amazing.
What rapper do you want to see make a comeback?
Honestly, him. Like, I really want to see
T.I.
T.I.
Came out with the song.
Well, T.I.'s never going anywhere, but, like, I'm talking, like, a full-blown comeback where, like, people are really fucking with him and, like, everybody's just on his dick again. Shit, like. I love T.I., bro. I really do. Like, there was a point in time where, like, that's all I listened to. Like, I love T.I. So, like, for Tip to just come back, make a full, blown comeback, and everybody's just, like, fucking with him, I would love to see that.
I'm not going to lie. I would love to hear another Snoop Dogg album.
Snoop is still dropping albums, but yeah, he doesn't have. I'm not gonna sit here and say he doesn't have the clout.
He's still
because
super
he's
relevant.
Very relevant, very. But and I would actually love to hear another Snoop Dogg album too, but
and another Ice Cube album.
Not even. I just what? I don't even know that I want to. It's not that I don't like Snoop's music now, but I don't know that I would like to hang out with Snoop. I just think he's cool as shit. I'm gonna just hang out with him, burn one down with the dude. You know what I mean? Like,
for one, no tux. You can barely smoke.
I can barely smoke.
You can barely smoke.
I can barely smoke.
If Snoop Dogg put a fucking blunt in your face, bro, you not finna finish that shit with
Yes,
him.
I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
But if I pass you a blunt, you only gonna take one hit. I feel completely betrayed as a friend.
I don't need to. Listen, we're talking about Snoop Dogg, bro. I don't need to intoxicate myself that much.
But if
like,
you with
that man's lungs are fucking like hanging on by its last thread.
I feel like if you shoot Snoop Dogg in his lungs, smoke will definitely come out. You feel me? I feel like there's something we need to inspect in Snoop Dogg's lung that gives him all of that smoking power. Because that man, I don't think I've ever really seen
I want
a
to know
video
who
of him
upsets
coughing.
that man and why he needs to smoke so much.
He old as fuck.
He enjoys it.
He's been dealing with fame since he was 23. Like, Snoop Dogg probably stressed the fuck out.
That's crazy.
And his hairline receding because of his dreadlocks and his age. And he got to deal with Martha Stewart's ass.
Let's leave him alone. Let's let him live a little bit. Snoop's my guy. I love Snoop.
I want one more album from Jay-Z. I'm not going to lie. Just one more.
One more?
One more album from Jay-Z. 3 more albums from Nas.
I would like...
I want a Dipset comeback.
Dipset is coming back. Dipset is coming back.
Stop playing.
They're going on tour together right now. Yeah. Dipset's coming back.
Last I heard about Dipset, like, Cameron was trying to expose Joel Santana for his like pill popping problem.
They does he pop pills now?
Yeah, Joel Santana's a drug addict.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, then there you go. That's the reason that they broke up. That's the reason, because everybody's on some business shit. Jimmy had his business deals, and I didn't know that. So now you tell me that, it all makes sense. Because I always wondered, like, I was like, are there too many egos?
Joel,
like,
no.
Because like, Jewel's, look.
He's always just been the rapper.
Exactly. That's all Jewel's really ever wanted to do. Now, I know Jewel's has the heart to do it, but he wouldn't want to. He doesn't want to run things. He doesn't want to lead things. He'll step down. But like, I know between Cameron and Jim Jones,
they're
both egotistical, and I know Jim Jones wants to run shit just as much as Cam does. So I think, like, I don't know. I never knew. I always thought, like, why can't they just figure out what the fuck?
There's too much shit going on.
Why can't they just sort out the problems?
Joel Santana could literally still be one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Joel's was one of my favorite rappers. Like,
he still is.
To this day, I remember copping What the Game's Been Missing. I remember before that I was on
him. With animals, orangutans, hammer moves, bangers bang, damn it, dude, the game of change. I got a whole collection, a whole selection, a whole collection of my whole collection.
I love that.
And
that
I'm
part.
big shifting, stick lifting, bitch. Listen, this isn't no damn game in here. Yeah, the whole Kirk Reigns in here like Kurt Cobain was here. Yeah. Like, Joel's definitely has some
I
heat.
miss that, man.
And my Diddy bop, large through the city cop. Then you getting shot. It's birthday. Go. I know it's coming and drinking. I know you thirsty. Harlem's my birthplace. Tombstone, birthplace. Goons Day, Tuesday. Yo, stop playing with me. I love Joel Santana, bro. Even like his hits, like his pop hits, Clockwork and fuck the shit that he has
like,
with Chris
yes,
Brown.
And,
oh yes, wait a minute. It's the. That's my shit. That is my shit.
The whistle song and.
Stop fucking playing. And bro, his chains were crazy.
I remember when the whistle song came out, you would just be walking down the street. This is before I could drive. I'd be walking down the street and I just heard in everyone's whips like just the
dude. I can't whistle.
I just heard the whistle going like real loud and I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, facts.
It's crazy.
And his chain was crazy. His chain game was nuts. He had that one chain that was like half white.
The Diplomat's chain was dope.
Fire.
The bird. That's dope.
That shit was crazy. Joel Santana definitely had swag. All of Dipset definitely was like, they were like fashion icons.
Oh yeah, with the
urban fashion.
He was
icons.
always like very political and diplomatic with his like videos. Like he always had on some like red, white, and blue shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that red, white, and blue leather jacket that he had, that was, I think it was an Oh Boy he had it on.
Yep.
Crazy. Pele, crazy. We have Jim Jones to thank for that.
What group would you like to see make a full comeback? Because my thing is, like, I'm thinking, like, a lot of people are getting older. What group would I like to see a comeback before they fade out?
I'll tell you right now. Black Star, I want to see...
Oh, my God. I'm going to stop you right there. Yeah. All right? Black Star, I would love to see fucking Talib and Mos Def like click back up and get it.
I want to see another.
I don't see that ever happening because
Mos Def is always on his own. Like,
Mos Def like changed his name and like he doesn't live in the country.
He
and
converted
like,
to Islam and changed his name. Yeah.
And Talib's still hitting up like the underground scene heavy, like working with different artists and shit, and which I love. But
I feel like Talib Kweli is kind of in the same hole as Vinny Paz is, if you know who that is.
Yeah. Jedi Mind Tricks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Jedi Mind Tricks is super slept on, bro.
Yeah.
They're a whole fucking group
of
super impressive rappers. Yep. And
very dope.
I would love to see another Watch the Throne album. I want to see another Outkast album.
I don't know if I would want to see another Watch the Throne.
I would love to see another Watch the Throne.
Because I'm at this point, I'm like, keep that same energy. Like Hove and Kanye coming together to make an album. I know they don't
always see eye to eye.
They don't see eye to eye, and it's like I feel like that whole thing would be fake. I wouldn't want to get behind it because it would be just for the money, and I don't fuck with that because like whatever they say, if they were like on the album dissing each other the whole time, that would be pretty cool because I would know it was real and authentic, right? Like in a song. A deep song, but Hove's talking to Kanye and Ye's talking to Hove the whole time. That would be dope. But like, why do I want to hear an album from two enemies? I don't think they're complete enemies. They still get money together, but it's just like their egos collide a lot, and I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to see Kanye. I think Kanye's in a different space than Hove, and Hove's in a different space than Ye, and they don't,
Yeah. Definitely want to see another.
I don't want to see another Watch the Throne. I do. All right, now, Outkast. Listen,
hold on. I want to see.
3 Stacks said he wants to retire, and I'm not fucking with that because like 3 Stacks is way too talented to just. I hate wasted potential. Like I hate.
He gave us like 3 diamond albums,
but they never did solos. Well, actually, Big Boy did solos, but 3 Stacks we never got a solo, bro. Like.
I want one solo album.
Oh my god, give me one, bro. Give me one, because we got the closest thing we got to it was what was that album they had? The Love Below, and like She Lives in My Lap, and
Andre 3000 ran that whole album. He ran that whole album.
She lives in my lap. She lives in. Oh my god. Forever my fiance. Like I love that shit, bro.
Yeah, bro. Andre 3000 is definitely a goat.
Yeah, bro. And like Prototype.
I need a fucking TDE album.
Yo. Why did they all stop making music together?
They didn't. J-Rock has them all on an album together. Like
why
what do you mean? Like, J-Rock has them all on an album together. Everything is cool. Like, Black Hippies still make music, but, like, they're always so busy. Like, dealing with their own shit, doing, like, mad other shit. Like, I think there will definitely be a Black Hippie album, though.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, like, everybody in Black
there
Hippie...
was... So, their shit back in the day, they did put out an album, right? Or was it just a compilation of songs they did?
I think so. I think it was, like, a mixtape.
They never did an album? It was a mixtape. Okay.
I think the reason
we do need a Black Hippie out. How are you going to be a group, right, and be respected in the hip hop culture, and like everybody fucks with you and knows like your lyrical abilities, but not have an album together? Because it doesn't even make sense.
They're all super iconic artists.
They're all very good solo acts alone.
Exactly.
But you know what I mean?
Schoolboy to SZA to Isaiah Rashad. That's a really solid
But I'm not about to sit here and act like, Shu's going to go on his solo career and Hendo's going to go over here and K-Swiss is going to go over here, and we're not going to have like a group.
We got K-Swiss in the building, by the way.
We got K-Swiss in the motherfucking building. Hey, say what up, K-Swiss.
I don't want to I don't know what to say.
Just say hi, nigga.
Hi, everyone.
All right.
Definitely here. I'm definitely not trying to be made aware of.
Babe,
we were just talking about collectives, like they don't.
What
the people don't all realize.
I don't know.
You don't know?
There's so many people.
I would
so
love
much different music.
I would love to see Destiny's Child make an album again.
Wow.
Yeah.
The writing's on the wall.
Stop fucking playing.
I own that album. I own the album.
No, the fuck you
I
don't.
own the album.
So does my brother.
Writing's on the wall? Who didn't have it? Say my name. Say my name.
Shu
you know what I mean?
owns a Destiny's Child album,
bro.
At 219 pounds. Beard full in puberty. Shu owns a Destiny's Child album. I just want everybody to know that.
Bro, first of all, I was a child when that came out. We're not about to act like it came out like a couple months ago. That fucking album came out when I was like damn near 8 or 9.
When I was 9, I owned that Lil' Kim album. I'm not fucking lying. Back when Lil Kim was bodying shit.
Listen, I had a bunch of shit. I had cassettes. I had LL Cool J cassettes.
He got mad.
I
albums,
had Puff
bro.
Daddy and the Family cassettes.
You know,
I
you know how many albums LL Cool J has? He has like 14
Oh
or
yeah,
15.
a lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
He's a shit ton of albums.
A lot.
But Snoop Dogg as well has a lot of albums. I would love to see Mace come back just so we can laugh at him. I would totally make fun of Mace.
Why would you want a man to come back so you can laugh at him?
Cause fuck Mace.
This is what has me concerned about you sometimes.
I just want another Mace album so I can just laugh at the flop, bro. I just like.
Yeah, but what if he came back and he's like, I just murdered them.
I will not hold Mace, bro. He was a lyricist back in the day. He bodied shit a lot. But for some, I don't even think it's because of his lack of lyrical skill that Mace flopped. I think people just.
By the way, I'm
gonna
gonna slowly start leaking our shit.
We have an EP coming out soon, and it's gonna be fire. And y'all niggas ain't ready for it. That's who need to make it.
You want to give him a solo breakdown real quick?
I ain't just murdered them where they go.
When I tell you he did that shit the other day at
Yo.
home, out of nowhere.
Yo.
I think it was after I took a dump or something. I was like,
No, you
Oh,
dropped
shit.
a fork.
I just dropped the fork. And I didn't even think about it. But me and Shu definitely have some shit. And when we come out with a fucking EP and don't flood y'all for a minute, that's who y'all gonna be wishing to make a comeback. Nick and Shu. You feel me? Because we out here. But I think we should get into our mental health topic, bro.
Okay. All right. So, right now we're gonna talk about for our mental health topic. We're gonna talk about multiple personality disorder.
It's actually now recognized as dissociative personality disorder, and what I know from multiple personality disorder is that the first woman to have it, her name was Sybil, and before they documented it as an actual disorder and as an actual mental illness, a lot of doctors were not trying to like really recognize it and acknowledge it and put it in the medical book as a disorder. They kind of they tried to give Sybil like other diagnosis upon diagnosis, like just kind of like mountaintop her with diagnosis rather than give her like a full on like premise.
Was that
of what
because
her-
they didn't have like the
They didn't have
they
enough
weren't
research.
educated,
Yeah.
right? They didn't have like the knowledge on it yet.
But a lot of symptoms from multiple personality disorder are, blacking out, not really knowing the lapses of time that have like gone over, disassociating yourself from your body and making different personalities, and those symptoms come from early childhood trauma more than anything, or whether it be physical, sexual, mental, verbal abuse. It's a defense mechanism that your brain comes up with when you're too young or your brain is too immature and ignorant to deal with so much like trauma. And the same thing happens with like being a sociopath. Like something happens in your life or like a reoccurring like thing that's super tragic happens in your life, whether it be rape or whether you witness
And rather than deal with that, your
brain just blocks it out.
It just tries to block it out.
Not only does it block out the trauma, but it blocks out the emotions from the trauma.
Right.
So you're very
So you take on a whole new persona.
basically.
You can basically make like unique names, a whole personal history,
And
characteristics,
what's
different.
Really a marvel about this disorder is that like it can every different personality can have a different biological makeup. Like you could have a different a personality that has diabetes,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that personality would
Yeah, like whole different characteristics.
It would need insulin.
There's really actually no treatment for it too, which
No,
is kind of
no.
crazy. Like the only treatment is like talk therapy.
Yeah,
like that's
there's
basically
no
it.
holistic treatment but talking about it.
Right.
You know? And the fact that there's no holistic treatment for it is super, super dangerous because here you are having dissociative personality disorder and the only thing you can really do is talk about it or take a shit ton of meds or just let it run its course. A lot of people who have dissociative personality disorder, they dabble in drug use. A lot of them are very promiscuous. They feel very desensitized and out of their body. They have blackouts sometimes to where they can't really remember what happened because that personality is taking over. But back to Sybil, she had she had 15 different personalities. She would wake up in different states in different cities sometimes and really not know what the fuck was going on. And one of her personalities
So she was living basically multiple lives.
Yeah. One of her personalities spoke French and played the piano.
If you're telling me she woke up in different states and shit, she was basically like jumping into a whole different life and traveling over here doing this, and then woke up, didn't like in a whole different mindset, didn't realize why she was there in the first place.
And a lot of people speak in first person like we.
That's got to be very confusing, even
super confusing,
even for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's.
And I think she's passed now, but she was the first person to be documented with multiple personality disorder. And what's even greater about that is that not only was she a woman, but the person who made the vouch for her and stuck around her and really got her disorder put into the medical books was also a woman therapist. Like, the men therapists were not trying to, the men psychiatrists and the men psychologists were not trying to attack this.
They thought she was
sickness.
just a crazy chick.
They just thought she was a sick, crazy, promiscuous woman. But the woman who stuck by her and tried to, vouch for her, she got it in the medical field. She got her personality defined as multiple personality disorder. And like I said, the biological makeup and the biological chemistry behind it is so not only fascinating, but super scary because, like I said, you could have a personality that has diabetes. And because that personality is a completely different person manifesting inside of your brain, your biological makeup completely switches. You could have a personality that knows how to do karate, but the minute you switch back to your main personality that isn't an alter, you don't know shit about that person. Or the personalities could be well aware of each other.
This is why this is another example of why people need to understand, like, mental health is so important because, like, the brain is that powerful. Because I truly believe I've never met anyone with multiple personality disorder, but I've heard enough for me to at least just understand that if someone, like you just made an example, you could have a personality where, someone that suffers multiple personality disorder, you can have a personality where they might know karate, and then the other one doesn't. And then for you to just come out of that into that whole different personality and not know a damn thing about what you were just doing or what you had already done, the mind is a powerful thing. People need to really, like...
Why do you think we can only use 10% of our mind?
It's absolutely crazy,
If we used all of our mind at one time...
So multiple personality... What I would want to know is people with multiple personality disorder, are they able to tap into more of their brain?
Maybe people who have dealt with it longer and, have a veteran... mindset behind it, but as far as I know, psychologically and scientifically, no. Every personality is different. There's no you tapping into a talent that your alter has, or there's no your alter can't tap into your mind as far as just being manifested. Like your alter can't take a personality trait from the main personality and adopt it. Like it's just not. That's not how it works. Every single personality is different.
Each personality can have their own postures, gestures, and distinct way of talking.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. There's been shows about it. Like I can't remember the name of the show, but this one woman, she dealt with multiple personality disorder, and her husband had to literally deal with like 4 or 5 different women living inside of her, and it was crazy. I've never met anyone with dissociative personality disorder, but I have met people with borderline personality disorder, and it's basically the same thing. It's just a little less extreme. Even bipolar, to a certain degree, is the same thing as dissociative personality disorder. Even schizophrenia and even sociopathic disorder, all of those things go into the same realm.
There's a lot of mental health illnesses, or a lot of mental illnesses that like coexist together or very similar.
Like I said before, me having bipolar also inadvertently gives me other disorders like anxiety and depression, because my emotions run so fast that I don't know how to heal. I don't know how to deal with it. So, yeah, bro. This
anxiety and depression are probably the two most common.
Yeah,
I think
most definitely.
Because I hear a lot of people saying I have that.
I think
a lot of people self-diagnose too. They don't know what they're talking about.
I feel like a lot of people sensationalize and and popularize bipolar and anxiety and depression, which isn't okay to do because people are actually suffering from it. And the people who have dissociative personality disorder and the people who are being bred as sociopaths are not only some of the saddest people, but the people who are suffering the most because to a certain degree, they can't do anything about what their brain is telling them to do, or what their brain or how their brain is functioning. Because dissociative personality disorder is literally, while it may be a mental illness, it's a safety net for your brain to stay intact to that point. You know, because if your brain cracks anymore, then not only are you going to have to deal with the trauma that you dealt with, but you're also going to have to deal with the safety net, which is dissociative personality disorder. And that's just going to be a whole clusterfuck. And I think the people who suffer from this are some of the strongest people if they're staying alive and if they're dealing with it, like, holistically to a certain degree. Like, I feel like people like that are some of the strongest people on earth because
there's an NFL player that has dissociative identity disorder.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because imagine him just having like one of his alters take over in the middle of a game. It's just like, we don't have a football player no more. He's like a fucking piano savant or some shit like that. You know, like,
that's
real
crazy
shit, bro.
shit.
That shit is nuts. Like the fact that your brain can expand that much just to keep you whole to a certain degree is really, really powerful. And I feel like the more we have scientific endeavors and research on this sickness, the more people will be able to not only tap into their multiple personalities, but control them and know when to deal with them and know when to let them out in certain situations. I feel like multiple personality disorder could probably be more of an advantage rather than it is a crutch. The more we do research on it, but
most of the time it comes from like I would imagine it comes from like violent and traumatizing experiences in the past.
A lot of women who have been raped or sexually abused have borderline personality disorder, or
you witness someone you love like die or undergo some kind of physical abuse.
What's crazy is a lot of kids who are in the street who witness so much tragic shit happen deal with it as well, but since they are only in impoverished environments, they don't really have the access to information to know what they're dealing with.
Right.
And a lot of people around them are just telling them that they're just crazy and they need to take a pill to get over it.
Back in the day, that was the it was just anybody that had any kind of mental illness or disorder, they weren't talked about. It was just, you're crazy.
Bro, even in the 1800s, bro, they would put people in fucking mental fucking hospitals for being dwarves or not having the same genetic makeup as
Can you imagine, like...
It's fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah.
It's really
like
crazy.
It was not okay to be different. You had to be average like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
And
it's basically just one big coping mechanism.
I think people who suffer from certain disorders like that are probably some of the smartest people in the fucking world, because even if they are inadvertently tapping into different parts of their mind because of their disorders, their alter is literally a different person. Their alter can do things that they probably couldn't.
Well, they have a lot of memory lapses too. Like I know their
do.
memory issues. They struggle with a lot of memory issues. Mm-hmm. But the fact that like each identity has its own story, that's kind of crazy.
Bro, each identity has their own story and origin.
Nuts. You
ever see Me, Myself, and Irene with Jim Carrey?
I did years ago.
That's schizoaffective personality disorder.
Like I know some of those people, like I've read things before and it said basically like it can make someone feel like they're living in a dream. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Even
like,
Fight Club, Tyler Durden, bro.
Yeah.
Tyler Durden was literally just a hallucination. Like a lot of people who suffer from bipolar, schizoaffective, schizophrenia, dissociative disorders, they have delusions, they have hallucinations. And it's because like your mind, while it's trying to defend itself from going to the peak of destruction, is literally flirting with the line, you know? So like your mind is like being torn a fucking apart. But if you didn't have this disorder as a safety net, your mind would completely be obliterated.
Right.
So it's like a blessing and a curse because your mind is still intact to a certain degree, but it's not intact as much as it should be.
Like your mind knows what it needs to do to like, to kind of cope.
But it still makes you suffer.
Right. Yeah, unless you get control and if it's left untreated, it can last like a lifetime.
But if you look at it from a relative standpoint, what if your mind didn't have that safety net? What if you experience someone get fucking killed or your mom get raped and your mind didn't have that safety net of dissociative personality disorder? And
we'd all be fucked up.
And you just fucked around and became a fucking serial killer.
Right. We'd all be fucked up. Because the people that do become like psychopathic killers or just something like that
means their mind is super weak.
Right. Well, that means that they didn't fix the problem when they should have, Exactly. They tried to cope with it the wrong way or they couldn't find some kind of coping mechanism, and that's not good. People need to deal with their shit and face it and look adversity right in the face. If you don't fix your shit and you just kind of mask it or band-aid it or find like a weak coping mechanism, it doesn't really work. It doesn't go away. It's just a temporary fix.
I'll tell you straight up, and this is probably the most honest I'm ever going to be with you or anyone on the air. When I was a young child, I was molested. And it really didn't like put a damper on my life. Like, that wasn't the worst thing that happened to me as far as like my mind being fucking like super fucked. But the more I like look back on it now as an adult, I can see the kind of things and effects that it had on me today, because being molested by two women from my family that I trusted and not knowing what was going on at the time, like actually thinking it was just a game now, and then looking at how I treated women for the longest fucking time, really they make a correlation. And as much as it did fuck me up with my relationships and my mental illness to a certain degree, I look back at being molested and I'm like, I could be a fucking rapist right now. Mm-hmm. I could have turned into a fucking pedophile or a woman killer or like fucking like
you could
Buffalo fucking Bill
lurking around at night doing crazy shit.
Exactly. And as much as I was a misogynist, as much as I did manipulate women, as much as I did hate women to a certain degree, I'm so thankful that that's the only thing that happened.
Yeah.
That was my safety net,
Thank God.
That was my safety net. Manipulating women and mistreating women, that was my safety net for dealing with being molested, because I didn't know how to really find closure with it. And now, like, bro, like, it doesn't really affect me. Like I said, bro, my dad not being in my life was more affecting than me being molested as a child. Because not only was I molested, but my dad wasn't around, so I didn't even really know how to feel masculine.
Right.
I had no idea because I was raised around women and a homosexual brother all day. So basically, all I'm around is sensitivity and fucking female hormones.
Right.
You feel me? So I thought that me being a man was having sex with multiple women, and I found pride in that. And I thought me being a man was me having a gun and me selling drugs and me, joining a gang and shit like that. I've tried to, and fighting and shit like that. I tried to find every reason to be a man.
Like more masculine.
Exactly.
Right.
Because my pops wasn't around and because...
like overcompensating for that.
Exactly. And now, bro, I'm literally sexually, emotionally, and psychologically, I'm at the most peace that I've ever had. I can look at a handsome man and recognize that he's handsome and recognize that he's a good-looking dude and not feel like I'm gay. I could, because of the fact that I was raised around so many women, and I had the opportunity to have my sensitivity be exposed that early. But I can also tell a man, like, yo, if you try to kiss me, I'm gonna slit your fucking throat. Like, I'm gonna beat you the fuck up.
Yeah, no, I'm not homophobic at all. I have a lot of gay friends. You know what I mean?
I fucking love gay people.
I have. Yeah, they're cool as shit. Like, I have gay friends that I'll go out with on the regular. Like, I'll go out to the bar with them. It doesn't mean I gotta fucking,
it's nuts. I think
we don't have to get physical or anything. We can go out, grab a drink together, hang out. But you know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, and I think having a homosexual brother made me a lot more sexually open too, because like me and my brother will literally sit there and talk about our sexual excursions like I'm talking to one of my boys that's straight. You feel me? My brother will literally talk about his sex life like he's a straight man, and it doesn't really bother me to a certain extent. Sometimes it's a little bit too much information.
Some of it's a little too much, like
because I don't live his life. But
I don't want to talk about that.
But like me and my brother will literally just shoot the shit sometimes about our sex life, and it doesn't really affect either of us. I don't see him as any different. But
I went out with one of my gay friends one time, and he was telling us how he woke up in this dude's bed and started getting a little too detailed, and I was like, all right, this is where it ends. Like, this is it. And you're cool, I'm cool, but like, this is where we cannot talk about this.
And even if one of my gay friends told me to like calm down with how much I talked about fucking a girl, I'd be like, all right, dude, I'll respect that.
Yeah. Right.
But this is what I'm saying. Like your mind, as fucked up as the safety nets may be, and a relative standpoint, how much more fucked up would you be if you didn't have that safety net? The safety net probably fucked up your life and stunted your psychological and emotional growth.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have that safety net, you would be fucking insane.
Yeah.
You would be chopping people up.
There's some things. Listen, there's some really, really fucked up traumatic things that happened to me as a kid, and I don't know that I'm ready to come out and even say them yet, honestly. But like some of the crazy shit that I've seen, and like earlier on in the episode when we were talking about like how I can relate to like M in a sense, like that kind of shit. I'm telling you right now, like I went through like some dark shit, and thank God, I'm wise enough to just educate myself on things, and I just gained the knowledge that I needed, because like if I had not, I could have been fucking nuts today, like shot out of my mind doing crazy shit. Exactly. I'm telling you, bro, like, thank God. That's why, life is not to be taken for granted, because it's a beautiful thing. You can really like, there's certain signs and things you'll get in life where you kind of need to jump on them. Like you'll get signs that'll basically show you like, all right, now's the time where you need to learn about this and figure this out. A lot of people just push shit to the side. They try to take the easy route. They try to, cop out and I'm gonna go this way because it's easier, and I'm not gonna deal with and face my problems. Like I really head on had to face my problems. There was a time where I didn't want to, but I knew I had to do it. I knew how dark of a road that was. I knew how lonely it was. I knew how nobody could relate. I knew how nobody in the world outside of me could help me fix that problem and conquer it. I had to conquer it on my own. You know what I mean? And I put my head down and I did it. And it was scary, and it was fucked up, and it was, it was a cold, dark road, but I had to do it. Yeah. And I did it, and here I am. You know what I mean? It's great. It's amazing. So
I definitely think that the people who are suffering from stuff like dissociative personality disorder and bipolar disorder and even schizophrenia, as much as their minds may be distorted, they're probably some of the strongest people, because I think the fact that your mind has initially made that safety net is so damn powerful. As much as it may stunt your life, or as much as it may hinder your psychological growth, you have to understand that that's something that your mind did to protect you from further psychological distortion. And dealing with that psychological distortion and then putting it off to heal causes more trauma and causes more disruption in your life, because you're already dealing with the safety net that your mind made for you. So if you're dealing with that safety net, you need to evolve from that safety net and then make a better healing process for that safety net, so you can come to some type of regularity in your mind. And I feel like that regularity in your mind is definitely important, because if we don't have that regularity, then who are we really? You really need to find yourself in your mental illness and really make yourself the definition of what you want to be, and not let your mental illness define you. Because if you let your mental illness define you, you're just going to be walking around like, if I let my mental illness define me, I'd be known as the bipolar boy rather than Joshua Isaiah Henderson, or rather than Hendo.
Right.
So
yeah, I totally agree with that, bro.
It's like it's definitely important that you heal from the safety net that your mind gave you after that traumatic experience, because the safety net is only a safety net. It's not something that heals you. It's not something that it's not something that starts a stepping stone to a resolution. It's just a safety net. It's like the Titanic when the Titanic sunk, it had all those corridors for the water to be captured and for it to keep, floating along if it ever hit an iceberg. But the reason that the Titanic sunk is because all of those corridors and all of those safety nets were flooded because no one dealt with it because everyone thought that they would be fine.
Right.
And if you have that same mentality with your mental illness, you are never going to be okay.
No.
You're going to sink. Just because you have if you look at it and think like, "Oh, well, I have this disorder now because it's what my mind made up." People
choose the easy way, like I was saying, they just give up, You got to really you got to take it head on.
I'm telling you right now, bro, bipolar disorder is my safety net because of the trauma that I dealt with in my life. And if I just label myself as bipolar and was like, all right, this is where I'm at now, this is what I'm going to be, this is what my diagnosis is, there's no changing it, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today. I'd be dead. Because because it's a safety net doesn't mean it's a relatively safe thing.
Right.
Because being bipolar comes with so many different fucking avenues of danger and susceptibility. Like, the fact that I'm bipolar makes me susceptible to drug addiction. It makes me susceptible to suicidal tendencies and homicidal tendencies. And I'm not with that. I don't want to kill myself or kill nobody. So, I'm going to try and heal. From not only the trauma, but from the safety net that my trauma, that the safety net, I'm going to try and heal from the trauma and the problems that my safety net brings. Because it can only be a safety net for so long.
Yeah.
It can only be a crutch for so long until you start to self-destruct.
Right.
And I feel like that's what people
eventually
need to do.
you ship your own. You sink your own ship. You know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong. There are some mental illnesses to where the only thing you have is the safety net. Like extreme schizophrenia, bro, it can't even be cured. Right. It can barely even be holistically managed.
There's some that there really isn't any treatment. There's things that can help. Like talking, like therapy, like stuff like that. But like we were talking about, like the multiple personality disorder and shit. Like there's not really a cure for that.
I fully
can't take like a medication that will help that.
I'm sorry. I fully 100% believe that my form of bipolar can be cured to a certain extent. Maybe not all the way, but I'm able to find peace.
Yeah.
I can definitely find peace. There's nothing stopping me from finding peace with my bipolar disorder. But things like dissociative personality, we're talking about you leaving your body in a mental state and then another personality.
It's basically like your mind jumps out of that body and jumps into another person. Like, it's crazy.
There are some articles
absolutely nuts. And it doesn't even do that, and it stays in the same person, and you could make up a whole different identity. I think that's crazy. Like,
I feel like those are some of the mental illnesses that don't have cures. You're just gonna have to.
There's a lot of people that probably wouldn't even want to believe that that's like a real thing. You know what I mean?
It's documented psychological fact.
Right.
That's like people believing addiction is a fucking choice. Because it's documented scientific fact. Of course your mind is fucking strong, and there's things that you can. It's a jewel, bro. Come on, calm down. Of course, I'm smoking a jewel, and Nick's being a little bitch about it. Of course, there's certain cures and certain what's the word I'm looking for? There's certain things and medications that can help you with dissociative personality disorder and schizophrenia and being a sociopath. But it's never going to be all the way dealt with until these scientists and these psychologists sit there and break it down chemically, biologically, and psychologically. There's never going to be a cure for stuff like Bro, let me tell you a story. I knew this one kid when I went to the hospital, and he had no idea why he was there. He was like, bro, I don't know why I'm here. And I started to get to know him more, and he was like, bro, and I asked him, I was like, bro, do you ever feel happiness? Do you ever feel like any other emotion? He was like, bro, to be honest, I don't really feel anything. I feel numb most of the time. I feel like I'm out of my body when I make certain choices. And
that's crazy.
He talked to a doctor that was there, like a residential doctor that was there, and then he came back after he talked to the doctor, and he was super upset. And I was like, bro, what's wrong? And he was like, so I'm basically a sociopath. And he told me that when I went and talked to the doctors and told them all of my symptoms and how I feel on a day-to-day basis, they told him, like, yeah, you're basically a sociopath. And if you don't keep getting treatment, you'll either end up killing somebody or you'll end up killing yourself. And as far as we know in the psychological world, there's no cure for you. You're stuck like this for the rest of your life until somebody makes some type of psychological advance that helps your disease. And he came back and he was like, I don't like the fact that I'm like this. I wish I was happy. Because now he was very, very aware of his disease before he got diagnosed, but being diagnosed made him more aware, and not only aware but scared, because this is a kid who knew about anyone who suffers from mental illness kind of fantasizes about serial killers. Like, am I wrong here? Anyone who suffers from like...
Nah, I wouldn't say anyone, you know? I would say, so as a kid, I had an obsession with like, and I don't know if it was the fact that I was exposed as such a young kid, but I had an obsession with like horror stuff, like horror movies, and like, you know,
a lot of horror movies are based off real life serial killers.
Like killings, yeah, like that kind of shit. Like
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I was obsessed with like Friday the 13th and like and Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I would say now, like, you know, being at peace in my life, like I go for like more of like an action or a comedy movie now rather than a horror movie. But that was like my number one back when I was younger. Like I was obsessed with like anything horror. I used to collect horror figures in my room. Like my boy across the street that grew up across the street, he was even worse than I was. Like we grew up off that shit. Like we really we loved it. You know what I mean? So would I say an obsession? Like, slightly, maybe, for me, even like that. I did have an obsession with that kind of shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna wrap this up because we have 5 minutes, but basically the gist of the story is that this kid came to me after finding out that he was a sociopath and said, I don't want to be like this because I know where this leads, and as much as I don't give a fuck about myself or other people, I refuse to be hospitalized my whole life, and I refuse to go to jail for something I can't control. And he had a talk with one of the older gentlemen that was there because he like got admitted, and the dude was kind of a whack job just because he had like manic bipolar and he was always so frantic. But when we sat down and had a conversation with him, the kid's name was Mason. He was tall, he was pale, he had black hair, and he kind of looked like a fucking sociopath. And when we sat down and had a talk with one of the residents,
was he a Freemason though? Was he free?
Get the fuck out of here. When we had a conversation with one of the other admitted dudes, he literally he said, "Fuck what this diagnosis is. Fuck everything that this diagnosis tells you. Your mind is the strongest thing in this fucking universe. And as much as you may be void of happiness and emotion, period, it's not impossible for you to fucking and it's not impossible for you to be cured." And after this 10-minute, 20-minute conversation, Mason came out of the room and he was like, bro, like, I don't know what I'm feeling right now, but it feels like happiness. It feels like a realization. And I was like, bro, don't fucking play with me right now. Like, tell me, because we were all concerned about him. I was like, bro, tell me right now if you can feel some type of emotion. He was like, bro, I definitely feel like I can feel something. Like, I don't know what it is because I haven't felt anything in a long time, but I'm smiling. There's a sense of warmness in my body and in my heart, and I really, really like it. And I was like, bro, you probably are experiencing happiness. You're probably experiencing happiness for the first time. And I could see it on his face that he was actually joyous.
So he said he didn't feel emotions for...
He didn't feel... Bro, as long as he was a kid, he didn't feel anything. And him having this conversation with another, you know, psychologically unstable person gave him a realization of him being in control of his mind. And I feel like as crazy as some of us might be who suffer from mental illness, we're probably the only people who can help each other. Because you can't sit here as a therapist who probably really only got this job for the benefits and the doctorate. You
Right.
can't sit here and tell me that
if you've never been through anything
Exactly.
similar, yeah.
And
like that's why people don't want to learn. You can't lead anything unless you've done it yourself. People will never follow you or listen to you or take advice from you if you've never experienced or dealt with the problems that he or she has went through.
And bro, I've been thinking about Mason for years, ever since I got out of the hospital. And the last hospital visit I had was when I was with Mason and a bunch of other adults, and that was when I was 18. I'm 23 right now. I haven't seen or heard from Mason in 5 years, and I pray to God that he's safe and that he's
shout out to him, bro.
Come to a better realization within his life, because that kid, he was so funny. But after I found out he was a sociopath and realized that all of his interactions were fake, I damn near wept for him. I damn near cried for him, because he had to wake up every single fucking day and fake everything, bro. Every interaction, every desire that people asked him about, every girlfriend that he ever had, every intimate situation he's ever had, he has faked ever since he was a child. And I feel for him, because he had no idea up until that point what real happiness and real emotions were. And for all I know, that could have been a temporary lapse of a realization, and he could still be the same person that he is now. Worse, maybe. But at least he found something, for that small period of time. And having that time, that week with him, and having that talk with him, made me realize that my mental illness is a walk in the fucking park.
Absolutely. And I think, I don't know if you believe in this, I just wanted to state one thing before we wrap it up. Do you agree with this? Because this is what I think. I think that if you are around someone, whether you have your own mental illnesses or disorders yourself already, or you don't, if you're around somebody else with certain mental illnesses or disorders, whether you live with them or you're just around them a lot or whatever, do you think like that will rub off onto you?
I think it's case by case. I think if you're related to that
let's
person,
say someone is a sociopath, or someone is they have some kind of they have some kind of social disorder or something, and or they're very manipulative or something. Do you think being around that person, do you think that can bring on other mental illnesses and disorders for you?
Yeah, because
just dealing with company.
That. Yeah, and the energy that you're around is the energy you manifest. So yeah,
because they say you become the 5 closest people to you, but I think
you can be okay your whole life and then have something traumatic happen to you in your 20s, and never be the same ever again. So
yeah, I think mental illnesses and disorders to a certain extent can be passed on to people too.
Bipolar is hereditary.
Some are hereditary, but even what I mean by that is maybe not the same one. Maybe you have let's say for an example, maybe you have a certain one, right, that you suffer from, and then I spend every waking second around you, and then dealing with being around you will put some into me.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's possible.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, let's wrap this up, bro.
All right.
It's been a great conversation.
Absolutely.
Follow us on the Connection Radio Show. What's the official?
Go follow
Instagram?
us on Instagram right now, guys. If you're listening, we got a lot of dope shit coming up. Go follow us at _connection_radio show.
Bow.
Follow me at Shoe856. That's SHOE, as in stop hating on everything.
Bow.
856.
Follow Hendo609_ on the gram. You feel me?
And if you know us like that and you fucks with us like that, go follow our governments. We shouldn't have to tell you what they are. You should already know.
Out no more.
We're not putting our government out.
Fuck the feds.
Exactly. But for real, anybody out there, any of you guys dealing with some shit, you're going through it, whether you're suicidal, depressed, you have anxiety, you have
multiple
I don't give a fuck
disorder.
if you have a test coming up that you're real nervous about or something, just anything. It could be anything that you're dealing with that you're not okay with. Just reach out to me. We're here to help. Hendo and I are always here to help.
We love you guys.
That's why we made the show. We love you guys. And we love your support. We appreciate everybody reaching out and sending, all the beautiful. I wanted to also give a shout out to all the people that have been sending me a lot of beautiful DMs and instant messages saying I appreciate what you do for the hip hop culture. I appreciate what you do for this mental health thing. I really love that and I appreciate it. That's why I do it. I don't have time to answer every single one. And that's not me being like a prima donna. That's just me basically, saying I'm busy. Anybody that really knows me and knows my life, my fucking life is crazy. I'm all over the place. That's just how I have to be. That's how I am. So I wanted to shout you guys out. You're my inspiration to keep going. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And that's exactly why I do it. So just know that you've impacted me in a positive way. That's it, guys. Check us out every Sunday, 3 to 5, at The Connection, where we connect the dots between hip-hop and mental health. We the plug. Make sure you get connected and get everybody else connected.
Hey, all right, we out of here.